What's good? What's good? What's good? How we doing, y'all? Check out the latest and the greatest free agency moves that's going on out there. I know us Raiders haven't really made any moves like that yet, but um, we're gonna be waiting. We got to be patient. We got to be patient as Raiders. But there's been moves that have been made so far, but a lot of big names still on the board. A lot of big names still on the board. I know some people want to pick up some corners. There's still a lot of corners out there for us. Let me give it a second though. See who pulls up. See who pulls up. What's good with you, Dom? What's good with it? Let me know if y'all can hear me, see me clear. Get the thumbs up. Get the thumbs up. Make sure everything's clear. Might have my boy Farrell pull up. Farrell NFL. If y'all don't follow Farrell NFL, make sure to tap in. Also, I was talking to CNG. If y'all don't follow CNG, make sure to tap in with CNG. He said he might be able to pull up later as well. So we'll have to talk to CNG, see what he says. We haven't talked to CNG in a minute, so that'll be fun. That'll be fun, man. Okay, so people pulling up, man. Eric said early. Yeah, it's still early for sure. Joseph, how you doing, Joseph? Pretty lackluster so far. Yeah, most definitely. We need a splash. We need J.C. Jackson. Eddie Lento was good. Thank you. Appreciate it. Jesse in the building. What's good? Good morning, Jesse. How we doing? Hope everybody having a good week. Samuel Harris was good. Good morning, Ray. Good morning, Ray Nation brothers. There's ladies too. You know, there'll be some ladies too sometimes, man. You got them right to rest. Good morning, everybody. What's good with you, King? Shout out King. Shout out RJ. Grayed out. What's good with it? Low key in the building. Tyrone Mathieu getting noise in Vegas. I seen like there was a fake tweet about Tyrone Mathieu, but to be honest, I don't know if all that noise is actually true, but I seen a fake tweet about it. I wouldn't be opposed to getting Tyrone Mathieu. I like him. He's super smart. He's accustomed to our division, and I mean he knows Mahomes and he knows how to play against that offense. I'm sure, so he would definitely contribute. And Tyrone Mathieu and Myrick, like that's shutdown. And if you look around the league, there's a lot of too high safety stuff going on. I mean, look at the Bills. Look at the Bengals. Both great safeties. KB in the building. You already know. DC up in here, man. What's up with it, Bell? Bell's in the building. I hope Chargers don't get, yeah. And I've been saying, if y'all watched my last couple of lives, I've been saying, you know, I hope the Chargers don't get J.C. Jackson and Jordan Davis. If they get Jordan Davis and J.C. Jackson, that's going to be crazy. That's lethal. Then you got to be worried. Gene says you're good. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody pulling up. Y'all can be anywhere, but y'all here at Rated Tape. I appreciate everybody being here. KB says Raider Nation, hit that like button. Yeah, man. Appreciate you, KB. Let them know. XO Sims, Yo Ray was good with it. What's good with you, XO? Tyrone Mathieu and JC Jackson signing with the Raiders. I would love it. That'd be great. That'd be great right there, man. Michael says, good morning. Top of the morning to you, man. It's 11:36 where I'm at. I don't know if you're on the East Coast, Central. Basically, if you're on the West Coast, it's the afternoon. What's up with you, Born? Casey in the building. If I'm lying, I'm dying podcast. What's good with you, big dog? Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Jackson just signed Kirk. For real? They just signed Kirk? Let's see what it's looking like. Can we confirm that? Let's see if we can confirm that. Let's see. Braxton Berrios. Okay, where you see the Kirk news at? It says they signed Kirk. They taking a lot of linemen already. Yeah, they got Sheriff. The Jags got Sheriff already. Luis in the building. What's up with you, man? Rob, what's good? Give everybody a shout out. Nature Boy, I see you, man. Have a good day, man. Appreciate you, Nature Boy. If the Chargers sign JC, it's a big problem. That's a huge problem. Surf Sipper, best Raiders YouTuber. Yo, you got the best username. Yo, he tripping. What's good, Ray? Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you being here, Dimitri. Edgar V. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out Edgar V in the building. Rappaport. Ian Rappaport said Kirk went to the Jags. Okay. Okay. I got the screen right here. Let me see. Let me pull up this Twitter real quick. Let me share this real quick. Add to the stream. Let's see if we can get some updates real quick. They said the man, Ian Rappaport. Ian. Let's get it. That's not it. That's not it. Where we at? Where we at? Rap sheet. Rap sheet. Yep, right here. The Jaguars aren't done. They are expected to sign former Arizona Cardinal wide receiver Christian Kirk to a large deal. To a large deal? What kind of deal y'all think they're going to give Christian Kirk? What kind of deal y'all think they're going to give him? Christian Kirk, a large deal? That's different. That's definitely different. I don't know about a large deal. I wonder what that's supposed to mean. EJ, what's good with you, man? Appreciate you being here. Appreciate everybody being here. I know we're just warming up. Okay. Let me see something real quick. Okay. We got the man CNG in the background. Okay, what's good with you, man? How we doing?
What's good, man? How you doing?
I'm great. Glad you able to make it real quick. I know it was last minute. It was last minute for me too, but I'm glad you're able to pull up, yo.
Absolutely,
man. How's your family? How's it being a dad? I know we haven't talked too much since you've had a little one, and now it's been at least a few months at least, right?
Yep.
So how's it been being a dad, yo?
It's honestly, it's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
Honestly, it really is. It's it's stressful at times. Difficult at times when you got to get up at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
But I love it. I wouldn't change it for anything in the world.
No, I'm glad to hear that.
Like you said, I haven't been on with you, man, in a while.
Yeah.
Obviously, as you know, it's the schedule's tough, man. I'm about to start going back to work on a full-time basis.
Right.
Have the channels going. But it's free agency, man. It's super busy day. People are getting signed, man. I was kind of disappointed when Christian Kirk just got signed.
Is that one of your guys? Like, you're big on Christian Kirk?
I think he would have been a good football player. I feel like he's one of those guys that he can line up on the outside, and I almost feel like he's kind of been overshadowed by some of the playmakers that the Cardinals have, as well as that scheme. Now, I'm not sure exactly what the contract was like. I wouldn't have paid $15-16 million for him, right? Don't get me wrong, but I think he could have been a good football player for the Raiders. Regardless, I'm actually kind of happy that the Raiders aren't overpaying some of these day one guys, right? Let's wait it out a little bit. Let the big contracts, let those guys get their contracts, and then let's get some of those cheaper guys, right?
Yeah.
What about you? How are you feeling so far?
I wasn't really the biggest Christian Kirk guy, so I'm not really too worried about it, especially when I seen they add the term, big deal. So what does big deal mean? Because I was thinking he would probably go around 10 to 12. That's kind of my ballpark. So he could potentially go for 15 plus if they're talking about a big deal. So
I think so.
I could see that being something realistic. But personally, I want to get J.C. Jackson, man. I don't think we get him. I'm not saying that, but that's just who I want to get. And I want to get him and Jordan Davis in the draft, or a good defensive tackle in the draft, and just say that's our defense, and just fill the rest of the gaps, because that'll give us longevity, I feel like. So that's where I'm at with it right now. The rest of the players can be role players, man, for all I care.
I would love J.C. Jackson, man. That would be such a solid signing for the Raiders. I don't know if we actually get him, right? But never say never, man. Even on Devontae Adams, right? I know it would cost us a ton, or at least we'd have to give up a lot to really bring him in. But never say never, man. Amari Cooper just went for a 6th-round pick. DeAndre Hopkins for a 2nd a couple years back. AB went for a 3rd, right? It's not out of the question that Adams ends up going for a 2nd or 3rd either, right? I know some people are like, multiple 1st-round picks. If that, he'll likely be back with the Packers. We don't know that to be a fact, right? But yeah, man, I see all the comments. Big shout out to all of you guys, man. I really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, that's other than man. Who's your now that I got you here, man? I know you've been doing your homework. I know you've been studying, and if you had to say, who are your top 3 free agents you want the Raiders to grab?
That's tough, man. That's really tough. You know, I kind of wanted a guard in the free agency. Is it Brandon Schaff? I think the former Washington guard.
Oh, okay. He went to the Jags.
Yeah, he went to the Jags. Yeah. So he was a player that I wanted, right? Because I feel like the one thing that the Raiders are missing is consistency on the offensive line, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think our left guard needs to be replaced. I don't have confidence in John Simpson. I think between right guard and right tackle, we can figure it out with Leatherwood, Jermaine Illuminor, as well as Denzel Good, right? So I'm not worried about right guard or right tackle, but I am worried about that left guard position. He was one of the guys that I wanted. There's a couple other guards that we can probably still target. You can also go with the draft, right? But I do think left guard is very important. I think it needs to be a cheaper guy. If you're not going to get the top guy, it has to be a cheaper guy. Because let's face it, right? Honor James will be much better not having first-year starters as a left guard and a right guard.
100%.
Right? And that helps the entire offensive line. It helps the running back, the quarterback, the receivers. Alternatively, I think receiver is a big position we have to hit. And I'm not talking slot receiver. I'm not talking the Z or any of the other crap. I'm talking about the true number one guy, the Devontae Adams type of wide receiver. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be Devontae Adams, right? Like I think Allen Robinson would be a good option for the Raiders. You know, and some people saying DJ Chark would be another option. I don't know about him.
I don't think he's a wide receiver one though.
Yeah, that would be my thing, right?
He's like a 1.5. Like his like I feel like his ceiling is a 1.5. He just has big time playmaking ability.
Yeah.
He just will never be that polished, you know, great route running, dependable guy 100% of the time, you know.
Exactly. I mean, there's so many players, man. I wouldn't be opposed to getting a guy like Tyrone Armstead, right? Like and having him play right tackle.
He would be pricey, you think?
Oh, I mean, he'd be the highest paid off. He would be the highest paid offensive tackle, which would make him the highest paid offensive lineman.
Yeah.
But the guy's a superstar. Like, you know, there's something that's in when it comes to offensive linemen, there's something that people don't think about, right? It's like you know, like when you watch a defensive end and they swim or they rip or they, you know, use like a cross chop, right? These are advanced moves that defensive linemen use. Offensive linemen have the same thing too, right? There's different types of things they can do. You can snatch, trap, jump hook. There's so many different things. None of our linemen do that, right? But Tyrone Armstead is a superstar at that, and he knows how to do those things. Even the Dallas Cowboys tackle, Collins, right? He's another guy that does those type of things. I think those two guys could be great for the Raiders, right? And that shores up that right tackle position, right?
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
What's good with it, Farrell? What's good with it, man? I don't know if you two have met before, but this is Farrell NFL, seeing G, Farrell.
Nice to meet you, brother.
Man.
I was definitely a fan of your content, man.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, but we're just speaking on Tyrone Armstead, man, and I know he's a great right tackle, but I know he's going to cost some money. And when we start talking about that, I almost feel like we're reverting back to what we were trying to get out of, and that was having a costly offensive line. And personally, I don't think we need to have that great of an offensive line for a running back to be good or for Derek Carr to be good. I think it'd be better to have like an average offensive line and have a great wide receiver or a weapon on the outside. But Tyrone Armstead is great. If we got him, I'd be ecstatic. I'd love to grab him. I'm sure we'd be able to make something happen to where we could still get a receiver. But I would love. I think we could settle for something a little bit cheaper, and that's kind of where I'm at with it. I'd rather have just cheaper offensive linemen. I'm not really tripping too much. We had Brandon Parker. Like, think of our offensive line how it was, and if we just add some veteran guys, like some, you know what I mean? They're not the greatest, but they're definitely competent. I feel like we definitely take that step. But I like Armstead.
Well, here's where I'm at, right? I do agree with you, right? And when we talked about this last year, we had to get cheaper on the offensive line.
Yeah.
And we got cheaper. And it wasn't great last year. Obviously, you know, after a year, things do get better. But I kind of look at like Josh McDaniels and the way he built his offenses in the past. which is great offensive line, a good running game when needed, and then the slot receiver, tight end, not a true number one wide receiver, right? For most of the way McDaniels kind of ran his offense. And then you also consider the fact that Chargers get Khalil Mack. You still have Chris Jones with the Chiefs. The Chiefs could also look to add another defenseman. Chandler Jones may be a guy that comes to the AFC West, right? And it may not be the Raiders. The pass rushing is getting better in our division, and that means we have to somehow block that, right? And that's kind of why I mentioned Tyrone Armstead. I know that's probably not going to happen.
No, that's a good it's a good point, because you just see the Chargers that got Mac, and you bring up Chris Jones, so the interior there is going to be pretty tough. And the Broncos, we already know they have a stout defense, so it would make sense to really stack up that offensive line when the opportunity arises, because you're not going to get a chance to get an Armstead every year.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? And he's going to be he's going to solidify that side, and he would only help Leatherwood develop into being that much better of a guard, learning from him, and also having someone like that help him. So I definitely hear that.
Isn't Armstead a left tackle though?
Yeah, he is. He's the left tackle for the Saints, but he would, you can kick him over to that right side.
Has he been the left tackle the entire time?
I believe so.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that though, but I believe so.
Because I know they had Ramchick. They had drafted. I think that's how you pronounce his name, Ramchick, right? And he's great too.
Yeah, that's the Saints, man. They get these late round. I don't think Armstead
he's a baller.
Yeah, I mean, you got these guys that are superstars for the Saints. They draft well, so not something the Raiders have done well recently.
See, the thing is with Armstead, you would have to convince him to make that position change, because it does come with the price tag, because I think left tackles do get paid more than right tackles. So I'm not sure if he would be okay, because he knows that, hey, at the end of the day, like, he has to make money too. He got a family too. So
if you pay Armstead, he's getting left tackle money. But regardless. Today, I mean, in today's league, right tackles get paid almost as much as left tackle. Like, there's really not a difference, right? Like, Khalil Mack doesn't only line up over the left tackle, right? He lines up just as much over the right tackle. The only difference between a left tackle and a right tackle is generally right tackles are going to be a little bit bigger, a little bit more stout. Your left tackle has to be a little bit quicker. So you have that differences between your left and right tackle. But I think for the right amount of money, I think he would come to the Raiders. But I don't think that's going to happen, to be honest. That's more wishful thinking.
Yeah. And a lot of times people emphasize the left tackle because it's like the blind side to the quarterback. Yeah. So, but that's one free agent. We were talking about J.C. Jackson earlier as well. He's more on the defense side of the ball. I definitely would love to go after him. He's my number one guy in free agency. He's be the priority. What do you think about that, Farrell?
Definitely, man. That's like, it has to be the number one target, just because with Patrick Graham, he wants. If you listen to his press conference, you could just read between the lines. He wants more DBs. He wants more talent on that defensive side of the ball, mostly in the secondary. And I feel like J.C. Jackson coming to this defense, if you look at his numbers, man, like 25 interceptions in 4 years, compare that to a guy like Stephon Gilmore, former defensive player of the year. Dude's a legit corner, got ball skills. He has 27 career interceptions in 10 years. That's a crazy comparison. And if we're getting a guy that can be a ball hawk, when's the last time we've had a ball hawk DB? What, Seawood? You know what I mean? Like, at the later years of his career, you know what I mean? So I think it would be a huge get, but I'm also hearing that the Chargers are really, really close to getting him as well. So I hope that doesn't happen.
And I can see them convincing him. I mean, you go there, there's Derwin James, there's Bosa, there's Mack now. I could definitely see them convincing him. Plus, they have some cap space. Go ahead. No, to say, Cool Zay says bring back John Feliciano. He's a no for me, man. Plus, didn't he leave on like a sour note?
He did with the Gruden / Tom Cable era. But he also has taken many shots at Raider fans. Taking shots at Raiders in general. I don't think we'll bring him back.
Okay. EJ Raider says 3 years, $45 million. Hassan Reddick.
It's a luxury pickup right there.
Yeah.
Luxury, just based off our needs.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. But let's get it. Now that I got saying G since it's been a minute. I want to talk about the draft though. I know it's free agency, but I definitely want to talk about the draft since we got an opportunity to bring him up. Because I've been seeing he been talking about getting a tackle. He talked about getting a tackle in the first round potentially, and I've been so opposed to that. I've been so opposed to that so much.
You're saying an offensive tackle, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, an offensive tackle, offensive lineman in general, just an offensive lineman in general. Where you at? Where do you at with the draft, man, for the Raiders?
So I would not be opposed to taking an offensive tackle in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
I understand, right? People are saying, well, we drafted Colton Miller almost 5 years ago at this point. We drafted obviously last year Alex Leatherwood.
Yeah,
but those guys, one has obviously panned out already. The other one, it's still questionable. But the other one in Alex Leatherwood, it doesn't look as good, right? Especially at right tackle, he did not look good, right? The way he played, the way his hands land when he blocks, it just doesn't look good. As opposed to if you get a true tackle in this year's draft, right? You look at a guy like, obviously Evan Neal's not going to be there. He may be the first overall pick. Charles Cross, Ikwanu likely won't be there. But guys like Trevor Penning are a real possibility. Even Kenyon Green, right? I know some people love him at guard, but he could play tackle as well. I would not be opposed to getting a tackle because I think the Raiders need to for sure up the offensive line, and it has to be cheap though. Right? That's why I think Teron Armstead doesn't make a ton of sense because he's going to cost $25 million. You get a rookie in the first round. If you get a guy that is a sure right tackle that will protect Derek Carr, right? Because anchoring down from tackle to tackle is the most important part of the offensive line. If you get a true tackle that can anchor down on the right side, you already have Colton on the left side. How much better would we be, right? As opposed to, think about this. Like, let's say we get a wide receiver in the first round, and let's see that wide receiver is a good player, but Derek Carr's still scrambling around for his life, and he's still getting sacked. And now he has in his head that I'm about to get sacked on the next play because I just got hit on the last play. How are we going to win games that way, right? So, again, I wouldn't be opposed to taking an offensive tackle in the first round. But I would definitely not reach, right? If the top three guys are gone, even if Trevor Penning is there from Northern Iowa, I don't know if he's the 22nd overall pick. I haven't watched this tape, to be honest, so I can't really confirm that I would take him or not. But if it's not one of the top three guys at tackle, I really don't know,
So who are your top three guys at tackle right now? Neal
overall? It's hard because I like Evan Neal, but honestly, he's not. I don't know. I don't see much of a difference between him and Alex Leatherwood. To be honest with you guys, Evan Neal, I'd probably put second or third just because, he's that guy that's getting all the hype. I think Ikwanu's better, but I don't know if he's a guard or a tackle, right? Some people have him slotted in as guard, some people at tackle. I'll be honest, I like Zion Johnson from Boston College more than I like Evan Neal.
The guard?
That's what I've been seeing. You made a video on him and everything, so I know you like that guy a lot.
He might be there in a second.
Maybe. Some people are saying he'll go in the first. I will say this with Zion Johnson, right? Like when I watch offensive linemen, I don't care if someone's big, if someone's strong. That does not matter to me. I don't. If someone gets bull rushed, it does not matter to me. I don't care. You can always get stronger, right? But like those advanced moves, like snatching someone's hands down as an offensive lineman, you don't learn those type of things. That stuff is so hard to learn. You either have it or you don't, right? It's the same thing with like Cleveland Farrell, right? We drafted him and we drafted Matt Crosby. One had great hand technique. One was terrible at using his hands, right? And the one with great hand technique just got paid $25 million a year. The other one's going to be cut likely by the end of next year, right? And it's the same thing with offensive linemen. Like Zion Johnson, when I watch him block, the way he uses his hands, his awareness, those are things that, like, I know for a fact are going to translate into the NFL. Even with Kenyon Green, like I haven't fully watched his tape, but I've seen some of his plays. He bullies people, right? Is he going to bully a 330-pound NFL defensive tackle? I don't know, right? He may be able to do it against the Baylor defensive lineman, but Baylor's defensive lineman might not be in the NFL, right? So those type of things I wouldn't say translate as well as like the technique type of things, right? And that's why even with Evan Neal, I'm not 100% certain that I like Evan Neal. Ikwanu from NC State, I love his technique, right? So that's why I would kind of slot him higher than Evan Neal, right? But that's obviously the way I would evaluate players, right? And that's kind of how, like, even with Andre James, I liked him because of his technique, right? So those
I'm
are the
glad you brought him up. I was going to ask you about him too.
Wait,
Andre James.
Mo Dizzle says no more 3-year projects in the first. Need day one guys. Do you feel like Zion is a day one guy?
Absolutely,
Yeah?
absolutely, yep.
What were you saying, Farrell, man?
No, I was just saying. I was going to ask him. Do you see that skill set in Andre James? Because a lot of I've seen your content on Andre James, and I've seen a lot of people question his play strength, and I'm wondering, do you see that skill set where you can't teach in Andre James?
Absolutely, man, absolutely. You watch Andre James last season. So some of the games where he got blown up. One game specifically was against the Chargers. He was taking on Linval Joseph. Linval Joseph was blowing him up. That's going to happen. It's his first year in the NFL. He's going to have the mindset going into next year that, hey, this is how strong I have to get. But the thing is when you watch Andre James, even Jimmy Morrissey, right, from last year, we drafted him in the 7th round. I think he's with the Texans now.
Yeah.
He had great technique, and I believe he's their starting center now, right? Both of those guys, they're not strong. They get bull rushed, they get thrown back. But those type of things could always be fixed and corrected. You watch Andre James against Linval Joseph. If Linval Joseph's with the Chargers this year, and Andre James will hook him, he'll get to his spot, right? Those type of small things I think are often underrated with these type of guys, right? I think Andre James has it, man. I mean, he's already been extended too, right? So it's not like the Raiders didn't think the same thing because they've already extended him. All right, they obviously felt the same way about him.
Yeah,
I think Andre James definitely turned up when he got some playing time under his belt.
Absolutely.
I felt like the offensive line in general halfway through the season got better. As the season gone on, they got better. You can't really evaluate them that first 6 weeks because they were so inexperienced. I mean, Andre James was snapping the ball over Carr's head. Like, how many games? 3 different games?
Yep. 3 straight times. 3 straight times.
Yeah. So it's like, that just goes to show you he doesn't really do that. He's not going, you know what I mean? He's not going to do that. He had to work it out his system. I think he definitely got better.
Oh, yeah.
I like Andre James now. I think he turned up. John Simpson, questionable. Philip Silva, though, man, I got to ask you, Farrell. He says, biggest question is what's our biggest need draft in free agency? What's our first move? Since you had just pulled up, man, let's go ahead and say, what's your biggest free agency need right now? Because I said J.C. Jackson. CNG, are you saying J.C. Jackson or you with Armstead?
I would not say Armstead. I do think corner for sure. I think
okay.
Yeah, it's corner, and it's obvious in all the all these rumors. Everybody they're talking to, the Raiders are linked to pretty much every corner, and I'll add a receiver there too. McDaniels wants an outside receiver, whoever that is, whether it's MVS or whether it's Allen Robinson, DJ Shark. They're trying to figure out that outside receiver position. But right tackle is definitely a need, and then also. Maybe because the market hasn't settled yet, that D tackle position, there's a lot of role players, I think solid role players that the Raiders can pick up. I know Raider fans, another year of role players, but I think that we can draft at D tackle. There's some good D tackles in the draft. Maybe in the first couple of rounds we can pick up. So if we go corner receiver, and then maybe solid right tackle, some role players at D tackle that can stop the run, because that's what Patrick Graham wants. He wants some run stoppers up there. And then obviously the draft, we can, get maybe a Wyatt or Jordan Davis is not going to fall to us.
Yeah.
But
we'll
figure it out.
So cornerback is your go-to. So we could pretty much agree on that. And this takes me to the other man, Carlton Davis. That's his name, right? Carlton Davis.
Yep.
How do y'all feel about bringing him in? I'm gonna start with you. I'm gonna start with you, CNG, with this one. Carlton Davis, how do you feel about him in comparison to J.C. Jackson, let's say?
I think Carlton Davis is definitely underrated. Obviously, J.C. Jackson, I think Farrell said, is it 25 picks is what he had?
25 picks in 4 years.
In 4 years. That speaks for itself, right?
Yeah.
His worst year was like 3 picks, and that's a good year for a corner. 3 picks.
Yeah. Now, would we agree J.C. Jackson is a top 7 ish cornerback in the league?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
where would Carlton Davis rank? Is he a top 15 corner?
Top 15, yeah.
Top
I would
15.
probably give him around there. I'm just not a big fan of Davis, man. I honestly
He's similar to Shark in that they both have potential to be number one players at their position. They haven't established themselves because they haven't like done it on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
But I feel like they both have potential to be that number one because, I just feel like it would be a good signing. He's 25 years old, young, a good, smart signing. But obviously, J.C. Jackson and Allen Robinson are like the top of their positions in the market.
Now, there's two other corners that I would consider. One is DJ Reed. I think he's with the Niners. And then the other one's the Rams corner, Williams. I think it's Darius Williams. I would consider those two guys too. They're both young. They're both looking to kind of get that contract. I think Reed.
You trust getting a player from the Rams?
I think the right player, yes, in the right system and scheme, right? Like, if LaMarcus Joyner was, that contract he got with the Raiders last time the Raiders signed him, if that was this time and he signed with this new scheme, I think he's better, right? Like Paul Gunther was a terrible coach. I think, let's not look at like, oh, it's a Rams player. Do we trust it, right? I think Williams is still a good football player. And if we don't want to go that route, we can go get a veteran, right? Patrick Peterson, I believe, is still a free agent. Even potentially bringing back Casey Hayward, right? I know some people are saying, oh, he's scheme specific or whatever.
Yeah.
He's still a good football player at the end of the day.
Yeah, he is. You bring up Casey Hayward. He's a little older. Eduardo says, or Gilmore. Is Gilmore an option here?
I think so. I mean, they're linked to him. They're interested. I mean, I've heard that the Niners and the Raiders are like really interested in his services. It makes sense. I mean, they got the Patriot connection. He's a man corner. I feel like he would fit because just like he wouldn't be a long-term answer at the position, but what's his name? Casey Hayward wasn't a long-term answer. Yeah. You seen production with him.
So he would be the Casey Hayward of this defense.
Basically, even better too, a better corner in my opinion.
Okay. The only thing I question with Gilmore is he going to fit the scheme and system? And then that too, like, he was traded to the Panthers. Did he choose the Panthers or did the Patriots just trade him there for whatever reason, right?
Yeah.
I believe he grew up in Carolina or he has some sort of connection with Carolina. So I feel like he's going to be back with the Panthers. Like, I'd be surprised if he's not with the Panthers. And if he's not with the Panthers, maybe he goes back to the Patriots. Who knows, right?
Yeah. I mean, John V says Calais Campbell, cheap and pretty reliable. No, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Campbell, but it depends because I feel like we can't go old in every spot, right? So we just got done talking about Gilmore. He's a little bit older. Yeah. I wouldn't want to really get too much of an older guy defensive tackle because we really need those spots held down. Like, we really need somebody to come in and hold this spot down for a while. So how do y'all feel about Calais Campbell?
I like him. I mean, he'll be a solid depth piece. I'm not relying on him to be a starter or playing major, snaps at D tackle. Yeah. At his age, it's like it wouldn't be a smart investment to give that type of, that role to him at this point. But I like him as a solid depth piece. Right now, he's probably going to be at the bottom of our list. Like, we're probably not going to be we're not focused on D tackle right now. Mm-hmm. But eventually, we're going to get to that. And I feel like there are some younger options.
Yeah, I feel like he's up there in age, right? And it's like
36.
How long is he going to last?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like the thing is, if you get Calais Campbell and you think, oh, he's going to be like the one guy, right? Because like Calais Campbell's different than like Devontae Wyatt or Jordan Davis. They're like in different parts of their careers.
Yeah.
If we go in and say Campbell's our guy and we're good at defensive tackle now because we got Campbell, we kind of said that with Jerome McCoy last year, right? And obviously an injury, and that was it. That was the end of that, right?
Yeah.
I think that I would go in on Devontae Wyatt, right? Last year I was saying we should get Christian Barmore as a defensive tackle. I would go in on Wyatt. I feel like Wyatt has that similar skill set. Like, I know you guys talked about Jordan Davis a little while ago. I don't think Jordan Davis is going to the first round. I have a feeling he's going to end up falling to the second round.
What?
Yeah, I don't.
That's That's a hot take. That's a hot take right there, man. I think you go top 15.
I don't know, man. I think Wyatt goes ahead of him. I think the Houston defensive tackle may end up going in the first round. But just if you look at like defensive tackles,
Houston,
right?
who's that? That's not Logan Hall? Is it?
The Houston defensive tackle,
Winfrey?
a
Is it
Hall, I
Winfrey?
Nah.
think.
No,
Is
not
Logan
Winfrey.
Hall?
Logan Hall, yeah, from
Yeah,
Houston.
Logan Hall.
Logan Hall. Wow, okay.
Oh man, I don't know about. I don't know.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing with defensive tackles. They generally do not get drafted in the first round. It generally does not happen.
Because you think,
right?
like you said, Christian Barmore last year. Think about that.
Yeah, and Barmore was
He was
I
the
mean,
best.
let's be honest. Christian Barmore right now, if you look at Aaron Donald from the time he was drafted, there's only been 2 defensive tackles that have been drafted that have the potential impact that Aaron Donald has, right? Not exactly, but potential. One would be Chris Jones of the Kansas City Chiefs, and the second now is Christian Barmore of the New England Patriots. Those are the only 2 defensive tackles that have the skill set of Aaron Donald. Obviously not at his level, a little bit less, but those are the only 2 guys. Therefore, defensive tackles don't generally get drafted in the first round. All right. I think Devontae Wyatt is the only guy that is going to get drafted, and that's because he has that impact that like Chris Jones or Christian Barmore could have.
I would add Q Williams in there.
I think Quinnen Williams definitely had that coming out. I don't know why it has not panned out yet. He's been a good football player.
Yeah.
But he hasn't broken out the way that we would have expected. But you're right. I would throw Q Williams in there for sure as well.
It just popped in my head. But I definitely agree because last year I think kind of showed that. Who was a better defensive tackle last year coming out than Christian Barmore?
But between who? Christian Barmore and who?
No, who was a better defensive tackle coming out last year than Christian Barmore?
No one. It was Christian Barmore. He was
So I'm gonna ask this question to Farrell. Do you think Christian Barmore? Where would you rank Christian Barmore in this draft, Farrell?
Man, he'd probably be the best D tackle just because it's not really a strong D tackle class. We're just focused on D tackle because it's a huge need. But I'm surprised that he said Jordan Davis is going to fall to the second round. That's a hot take right there.
Now I want to ask CNG, where do you see Christian Barmore in this draft class?
I think Christian Barmore and Wyatt would be very close, but I think Barmore would be better for sure.
Okay.
I think the thing with Barmore is he was very polished when it came to his pass rushing, right? But don't think Wyatt doesn't have that, right? Wyatt has pass rushing. And the only reason why I say Jordan Davis is going to fall to the second round is I get the combine numbers. I get all that, right?
Yeah.
But how often is he going to be running full speed? Right. And that too, you can train for the 40-yard dash. I don't think that's that big of a deal. I will also say this about Jordan Davis, right? Where does he truly fit? Right. Because Jordan Davis does not have pass rushing skills. So are you really going to take a run stuffing defensive tackle in the first round?
Good point.
Right. So again, that's why I say I don't think he goes in the first round, is because I don't think he has that. And don't think I'm the only one saying this. There are scouts, NFL scouts, that feel the same way about Jordan Davis, that he's not going to go in the first round.
All right. I mean, we'll see, man. That's a bold. I feel like that's a bold take personally. I think he's going to be top 15. Yeah, going to be the first D tackle off the board.
Let me ask you guys this. So you guys both agree that Jordan Davis is the number 1 defensive tackle?
Yeah.
Why? What makes him? So let me ask you this: do you guys think he's a good pass rushing defensive tackle?
So are you asking me, do I like him the most, or do I think he's going to get drafted? My prediction is he'll be drafted the first defensive tackle. I like DeMarvin Leal. That's my favorite defensive tackle.
Okay. But you don't think he'll go ahead of Davis. You think Jordan Davis goes first. So why would a team take Jordan Davis first? So like, what is it about him that makes him so attractive that he's?
I think it's just because his size, speed,
his measurables is just crazy.
Yeah, it's just there, and then he also had the production. It's not like he wasn't. It's not like he's just a combine freak or something like that. No, he's actually actually was a good player, right? And then he went to the combine and did really good. So I think that's why I would say he goes that high, and that's just what I think, though. You know what I mean? I also have. I'm not saying you're wrong or anything. Obviously, we're just talking about this. But I have a similar situation. I feel like when I talk about the cornerback spot, we'll talk about that soon. But I hear you though. I'm not mad at that. If you think Wyatt is better than Davis and he'll get taken, is that what you think will happen, or is that what you think? Like, you think Wyatt's the best, or do you actually predict that the NFL teams are going to take him and Davis is not going to be taken? You see what I'm
think
saying?
both. I think
Okay,
and I think as the NFL draft starts approaching,
Mhm.
first of all, people already are saying, like, people aren't 100% agree that Jordan Davis is the best defensive tackle, right? That's not a fact that every person thinks it. Like last year, every person knew for a fact Christian Barmore was the best defensive tackle, right? Or at least 99% of people were saying that.
Yeah.
Not at 99% of people are not saying Jordan Davis is the best, right? A lot of people think Devontae Wyatt is better. A lot of people think Jordan Davis may be second best, but also keep this in mind. Jordan Davis had the privilege to play with Devontae Wyatt. He had the privilege to play with Trayvon Walker, right? Trayvon Walker might be the first one taken among all of them, right?
Yeah. I did see a mock draft where he was taking like top 5, I think, or it was definitely top 10. But I was like, dang.
He's good. He's explosive, right?
Yeah.
But then more so than that, the other guy they have, I think it was number 4 for Georgia. He's going to be a top 20 pick next year, right? When he comes out. Georgia's 4 defensive linemen. Think about this. Jermaine Johnson is a first-round pick out of FSU. He transferred away from Georgia because he realized that their defensive line is way too good, and I'm not going to play much. So he transferred away from Georgia, went to FSU, had a great year at FSU, and he's going to be a first-round pick this year as well.
Right.
My point is Jordan Davis had the privilege to play with all these superstar players. He's not going to play with superstar players in the NFL. He's going to be the number 1 defensive lineman, most likely wherever he ends up going, right?
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to have the same impact. I just don't see it. Being big is one thing in college. It's different when you get to the NFL, right?
I 100% agree.
Yes, 100%. Jordan Davis is 6'6", but there's other players that are 6'6". There's other players that were 335 pounds, whatever Jordan Davis is. I think Christian Barmore was very close to Jordan Davis, in fact, in terms of size, right? And he ended up going in the second round. So again, don't be surprised if Jordan Davis ends up falling out of the first round. And I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. I just don't.
I hear you, man. And I wouldn't.
And Raid, I remember you saying, you made a good point about that Georgia defense, where you were like looking into that defense and trying to figure out where the talent was, and you noticed that whole defense was good, and you were trying to figure out what player was actually the star in that defense, because everybody kind of was playing off each other. So
I mean, that kind of goes to Sanjeet, you know what I mean? See how it goes kind of full circle. She was saying, you know, the Jordan Davis had the opportunity to play with Wyatt, with Walker. I'm not sure who number 4 is he was talking about, but also something I noticed on tape when I was watching is number 88. If y'all watched him, he's a defensive tackle as well. He's not coming out this year. Yeah. But I believe number 88 on that Georgia defensive line is the best defensive lineman they got. He's a dog. He's a number 88. He's a dog. He's the best defensive lineman on Georgia, and he's not even coming out this draft. But also, it goes to like Nakobe Dean, and I was like, man, Nakobe Dean is playing. He got some dogs in front of him. You know how like easy it should be for him to be out there and do whatever he wants out there. So it's definitely hard to kind of evaluate that and be like, who's the good one? Who's actually out here, you know, individually making that play, and you had to really pay attention. But I do like Wyatt too, so that's why I'm not really disagreeing with Sanjeet or anything like that, because he does have that logic behind it.
No, Sanjeet's logic is basically pass rushers have more value than run stuffers, and Wyatt is the pass rusher.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's pretty much where he's coming from. Mm-hmm. So I get it. Yeah. I get it. But
that's
a hot take though. It's a hot take, Sanjeet.
Yeah. Cool. Let me get this super real quick. I know I'm a little behind in the chat, but shout out everybody in the chat, man. If y'all can hit that thumbs up. We got Sanjeet in the building. We got Farrell NFL in the building. Appreciate y'all being here. Y'all could be anywhere, but y'all here. Kuze says, bring in a corner that can catch. I mean, he ain't lying. We were last in interceptions last year, correct? Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think
I'm sure somebody will. But we were last in the NFL interceptions because a lot of times we were in position to make a play and we would drop the ball. So I definitely hear Kuze. Anthony with the super, he says, how y'all feel about Honey Badger in S&B? Heard we closing in on him. I heard something about it, but I guess it was a fake tweet. That's pretty much all I heard.
He actually already signed. Didn't he sign with the Baltimore Ravens?
Did he?
I believe he did. I'm pretty sure he signed with the Ravens.
I heard rumors about the Raiders signing him, but then it was all fake news. Man, guys be taking their time, like making fake profiles and posting fake news. That's crazy to me. But yeah, I mean, it would be a good pickup. But he is turning 30. I mean, I don't know what type of contract is he going to get. How much money does he want? Because he's leaving the KC Chiefs because he wants money. So
Jaguars are giving former Cardinals wide receiver Christian Kirk a 4-year deal worth up to $84 million.
Who did they sign?
Christian Kirk.
Oh yeah, 84 for 4 years.
Yeah,
that's nuts, man. That's 21 million.
What is that? 42
for a slot receiver.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, how much is that? It's 21.
Yeah, 21.
Yeah.
Woo.
For a slot receiver.
And think about it. This is what we're in competition with, right? This is what we're in competition with. So imagine what J.C. Jackson potentially will get paid. Like if we're in competition with other people that are willing to pay him.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that. DJ with Chark, same thing. If we're in competition, Chark is gonna get. Dang, that's tough.
Yeah. That's
double than that's almost double than what I expected him to get.
That's crazy because now you have guys like Allen Robinson that hasn't been signed. You have guys like DJ Shark that hasn't been signed. Guess what they're going to do? Their agents are going to look at that contract and be like, we need to get paid more than this guy. Because they're, to me, in my opinion, they're better players at the position. So
some of these wide receivers will be disappointed because only the Jags are paying that type of money, man.
Yeah.
I would never pay Christian Kirk 20
because they have to. They have to.
How big is he though? Like, is he a big receiver at all?
He's 5'11". He's 5'11". 5'11" slot receiver. I mean, he played a little bit outside. He got versatility, but he's more of a slot receiver.
That's money. That's money right there. And you think about last year. I mean, Aguilar got a bag. So that's a tough one. Do you guys think that affects the market though? Like with Chark?
It does.
With Allen Robinson. If he's getting that, what would Allen Robinson get?
Well, let me ask you this though. I would rather have Michael Gallup over Christian Kirk. And Gallup got what, 12 million yesterday, right? I think
he's a better player.
See, I feel like the thing is like I don't know what the hell the Jags are thinking, but like, you know, the 12 million for DJ Shark, that was what I would give him, around 12 million, right? Allen Robinson, maybe a couple million more, maybe 15 million, right? But this just reset everything, man. What is Hunter Renfro going to come on the table and say, I want 23, right? Like, I don't know, man. That's crazy.
That's crazy. Shout out E Maney. He says, what's up, y'all? Shout out E Maney. Ready for Life says he got overpaid.
Yes.
He did.
He did.
Christian says, Raid, why are the Raiders sleeping? I don't know, man. We haven't really heard much. But Dominique says Renfro getting paid. Yo, Renfro deserves more than Christian Kirk.
Yeah, he's gonna get paid. That's crazy.
But I would not pay Renfro anywhere near 21. If he wants that, I would let him walk. The thing is Renfro has to take $10 to $12 million because he barely hit 1,000 yards last year. That was with an extra game. That was with all our players hurt, right? He's not, he's a good player, but he's not worth that.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
I don't know, man. It's going to be tough and we just paid Max too, and Max signed, you can see a team friendly contract almost right at $24.5 million.
Yeah.
Because Nick Bosa is about to get paid $30 million, right? That's what Bosa is going to come out and demand. I don't know, man.
What's going to help out in negotiating with a lot of these free agents is the fact that Las Vegas has no state taxes, so they might not. Maybe in Oakland, we might have had to pay for a receiver and pay him $20 million a year. But in Vegas, we can pay him 15, 16. You know what I mean? Whatever the case may be for a top receiver.
I mean, there's definitely other states, too, that don't have income tax.
Florida. Hold on. I think Florida.
Yeah, I know Florida. I think there's a couple others, too. So it's not
he's getting paid. Wow.
Yeah, that's
that's crazy. Shane Moore says third highest paid wide receiver in the NFL.
Well, that's right now, though. Yeah, he is technically per the average value, but Devontae Adams is going to surpass that, right? Yeah. Amari Cooper may get his deal redone, and he'll probably surpass that as well.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. The Jags, I think, did overpay.
Most definitely.
So Ian Rappaport actually just reported. So it's actually a $72 million contract, which would put it at $18 million per year. it can go up to 84
Yeah.
if he hits certain incentives. So technically it's a 4-year, $72 million. But $18 million is still a lot of money. But I would say that, that's the average value for 4 years, right? This upcoming year, it's probably like 14 million. Then the year after is probably 16, then it's probably 20, and then his last year is probably like 23 or 24.
Yeah.
So it's, obviously going to ascend. So
Mo Dizzle said LOL, but I thought Hunter Renfro 13 was as good as Williams 20 million. I don't really know what to say to that, man, but Hunter Renfro ain't worth 20 million. I can't sign him to 20 million. I'm sorry. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I like him. He's a great wide receiver, but this is the thing, and I know some people will talk about Cooper Kupp, this on the third, but he ain't Cooper Kupp, man. Cooper Kupp is over 6 foot. He got like 20, 30 pounds on Renfro. And like there's a huge difference. He can play outside too. And Hunter Renfro playing outside is kind of tough. You don't really see it too often. I know sometimes he does in the red zone. He's able to make something shake, but
yeah, Cooper Kupp is definitely the exception. And people love to look at the exception and try to use it as an example, how every receiver needs to get paid. And Renfro is, like you said, he's a good player, but damn, I can't 20 mil a year. I mean, maybe the cap goes up a lot next year. I don't know, but
yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. Yeah. Shout out Queen Raiderette for pulling up. Appreciate you being here, Queen. Shane Moore says getting paid more than DC. Dang, that's crazy. I mean, obviously it's just right now. Just right now, but that's crazy how a wide receiver is getting paid than Derek Carr. Well, not a wide receiver, but Christian Kirk. But man, before that news had broke out, we was just talking about a little bit about the draft. Still, we was talking about defensive tackles. Who was the best? But I wanted to talk. Have you watched DeMarvin Lil?
I did. I watched him a little bit. I haven't fully gotten into his tape. I actually requested a little bit more of his tape.
Okay.
He's good, right? Don't get me wrong. He's a good football player. I value defensive tackles solely based off of the pass rushing, right? Primarily. Yeah. Obviously, they have to be a good run defender. Mm-hmm. But pass rushing for me holds a much, much higher value than, you can get 100 run defenders. Yeah, right. There's so many of them in the league. But what separates, I think, the great defensive linemen from the average are the pass rushers, right? Fletcher Cox, Akeem Hicks, right? These are guys that can get after the quarterback as well. I don't see it the same way with him, right? So I don't know where he ends up going. I know there's the Oklahoma guy's pretty good as well. Check out Logan Hall, man, from Houston. Check him out. He's a pretty solid player.
What about you, Farrell? Where's your defense? Where are you sitting at with the defensive tackles? Because right now we got Wyatt. Sanjeet got Wyatt.
I was with Sanjeet. With Wyatt. At first, as a draft approaches, everything starts getting realistic. Yeah. And like maybe at 22, it makes sense. Maybe if we can trade down, we might be able to get Wyatt as well. But the free agency sets up the draft at the end of the day. Yeah. But looking at free agency, it's a lot of role players. I feel like there's no one at D tackle that really kind of like screams at you. So it kind of makes sense that we're probably going to go into the draft to address that D tackle position. So I feel like at D tackle, if we address the receiver position, the corner position, which we're kind of seeing a lot of these rumors, a lot of the top corners and receivers are kind of like they're pretty much attached to us as far as the rumors goes. I think it makes sense if we go Wyatt, if we address those needs. And O-line, I know, man, O-line I'm with you at Raid, man, like another O-lineman
I couldn't
in the first round. But it's a new regime, though. It's a new regime. Better, the front office is going to trust their scouts, not like John Gruden, where he's going to probably ignore everybody in the building and just trust Tom Cable to make, the decision there. But, that's behind us. We got a new regime, so.
Shout out Raider Incorporated for becoming a member of the channel. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for the support. Shout out everybody who's here right now. Sanjeet is with us. We got Farrell NFL. Shout out to them. Make sure you all subscribe to their channel.
Yes, sir.
We're just talking a little bit about the draft and defensive tackle, but I do like Wyatt. I do like Wyatt. I like Lil because I feel like he's all around, honestly. I feel like he's good in the run defense, but also he can get to the quarterback. And he got the size to where at the next level he could still continue to do it. And
I'm
so
gonna,
I
I'm gonna
like
give you guys another guy. Like, not to cut you off, I'm gonna give you guys another guy. And shout out to Andy from Raider Football Talk.
Mhm.
He brought him up. Perion Winfrey. How do you guys feel about him?
Oh, that's the Oklahoma guy, I think, since you was just
Yeah.
referring to a little bit ago, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
I think you like Perry Winfrey, right? Right,
I
CMG?
think he's pretty good. I think he's pretty
because
good.
he pass rush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sold on him either.
Yeah.
It's just hard, man. I feel like defensive tackle is just that one position is so difficult to hit on, right?
Yeah.
Like, do you want to get another guy like Maurice Hurst, right? Who maybe he's a good pass rusher, but then he can't play the run. Or do you want to get a Johnathan Hankins, a great run defender, but then he does absolutely nothing when it comes to pass rushing, right?
Yeah.
You really want to find that guy in between, and it's so hard to hit on those guys. I do like Winfrey though from Oklahoma. I think he definitely has some of those like pass rushing moves.
Yeah.
But
he just
ultimately,
seemed all pass rush to me though.
him
Personally, I just feel like he was strictly pass rush. That's it.
and that's the thing though, right? Is that's kind of like Maurice Hurst, right? Where he's strictly pass rush, and then when you double team him, he's going back 7 yards.
Yeah.
Right. And you can't have that. You got to be able to take on those double teams. And that's kind of where I see him as well.
Have you checked out Travis Jones?
No, I have not.
Yeah, Agent Red says Wyatt Winfrey Jones. Travis Jones was a big time name in the Senior Bowl.
He's the UConn guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
He just seemed I watched him. He just seemed so slow to me. I don't know what it was. Like his get off seemed so slow, but he was able to still get around people. I don't know how it was or what it was, but he just looked like he was in slow motion and he was still able to make people move. So I don't know what it was about him so much.
Interesting.
Maybe.
I'm gonna check him out.
Check him out, man. Let me know what you think because I'm like, man, this guy's slow, but he getting people out the way.
Okay.
Yeah, but a lot of people saying he's going in like the second or third.
Like I can see him going into. Someone could probably grab him in the
No, another player that I like is Alabama's Phidarian Mathis. I think.
Oh, okay.
I think he has good hands. Obviously he's a Bama guy, right? So you never really know with those guys. But I think he has good hands and he's good against the run. I would not take him in the first 2 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
He'd have to be in the round between 3, 4, or 5 for me to take him. I don't know if he lasts that long, but I think he's a good developmental player. I think he'll get much better once he gets in the NFL.
I'll have to check him out because I really haven't watched him. What do you have you checked out? What's his name again?
Phidarian Mathis.
Yeah, because he got a weird name. So it's Phidarius Methodist.
Phidarian Mathis.
Phidarian
number,
Mathis.
I think 48. Number 48.
No, I see his name. He's the D tackle for Alabama. I just never watched him. I don't know about him. What about you, Farrell? Oh, you're muted, brother. Because after this, I definitely want to talk about the cornerbacks, man. Because my opinion on corners, I feel like is kind of some people, have a different opinion. Let's put it that way. But I definitely want to talk about the cornerbacks next. Because what are your top 3 needs in the first round? Let me ask that real quick, and then we'll get to the corners. What are your top 3 needs?
I do think corner is a need for the Raiders for sure.
You say it's top 3?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think the thing with the first round is you got to consider you're not going to find a superstar corner likely in the second or third round. Same with a superstar tackle or a superstar quarterback. Right? Those 3 positions are first round positions. Mm-hmm. Right? That's where you want to take those guys.
Yeah.
I just don't know about the corner class, right? I don't know how good it's going to be. There's a couple of guys that I definitely like. Obviously, my number 1 corner is the Cincy corner, Gardner. I think he's going to be a real good corner. I really do. And
you don't think he's slightly overrated at all?
No, not at all, man. And I understand he played at Cincinnati, and it's not like top tier school. He has the skill, man. I think he's going to end up going in the top 10. Derek Stingley from LSU. I think he's probably top 12 or 13. Even the Florida corner, I think, goes in the first round. What's his name?
Kyrie Elam.
Yeah, I think he goes in the first round as well.
That's Ray's guy right there.
He may be the 3rd or 4th corner taken. He's going to be good too, man.
Yeah. Yeah, look, AJ Simpson, he says, here comes the Elam talk. Yeah, man. I'll be talking about Elam all the time because I just feel like, personally, it's kind of like what you said. You're only going to get that caliber that caliber player at that position in the first round.
Yeah.
You know, the rest of it is kind of shot in the dark. Like you got lucky, right? You get Max Crosby. We got lucky. Let's be honest. We got lucky. It's not like we were like, yeah, we're some super genius drafters and we're out here like, yeah, we got Max Crosby, right? Because you could obviously tell in the first round we didn't. Anyways, I'll talk about Kaiir Elam all the time because I could specifically say I like his man coverage. I just think he's great in man coverage. He's physical throughout the route. He doesn't get burnt. And that's what I like the most. And then people will bring up what's the kid out of Clemson name? Andrew Booth Jr. Where do you got Andrew Booth Jr., man? Where do you got Andrew Booth Jr.?
I got Booth. I like him. I would say for me, 1 is Gardner, 2 is Stingley, and then I'd have Booth 3. And then I'd probably put Elam 4, and then the Washington kid 5. That's how I would have my top 5.
Definitely.
It's corner, man. It's such a hard position to value. I would say corner is like quarterback. It's just that one position. It's very, very difficult. You don't know how it's going to translate, how a player is going to end up being. Because the scheme and system really impacts these guys, right? Yeah. That's why you get J.C. Jackson, who's undrafted, ended up being a superstar player. Gilmore, although I think he was a first-round pick, didn't have the same career before he got to the Patriots, right? Mm-hmm. Again, it's corner. It's just a hard position to hit.
Yeah. What do you got, Farrell? Where do you got your top 3, top 5 corners right now, man? Would you say Booth was NG?
I'd have Booth 3.
And Elam was 4?
4, yep.
Oh my gosh. Y'all killing me, man. Go ahead, Farrell, man.
So obviously Gardner, Stingley, McDuffie's nice too, but he's not as big as the other corners. But how do you guys feel about McCurry?
Is that the Auburn or Georgia corner? I think Auburn.
Auburn, yeah.
I haven't watched him, to be honest. I have not watched him.
I like him. I like McCreary. I see I kind of see like a J.C. Horn kind of cornerback out of him. He just, I guess his biggest knock is because he has short arms. I think his arms are like 29 inches and some change or something like that. And that's I guess that's too short to play cornerback. But I seen him play physical, be able to poke the ball out. But he's going to be playing NFL talent. He's going to have guys that are going to be way bigger than him. You got to go against DK Metcalf. He's not going to be able to do anything.
And that's a guy that's available or could be available in the second round. You know what I mean? So I'm also thinking about value too as well. Like, because what happens if a guy like Devin Lloyd drops at number 22? We can't pass on him.
Not at all.
You get what I'm trying to say? I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it is a possibility. Some players do drop. Because a team might want to trade up and get a quarterback. You know how things go.
Yep.
So that might happen, and then we can get some value in a second by getting a corner or maybe a D tackle if he's there. I think it's gonna D tackle. I think there's gonna be a run on D tackle in the draft just because it's so top heavy. They're like specific players, and after that, it's a real drop off. But we'll see.
You saying corner is a real drop off or D tackle?
D tackle.
Yeah. Okay.
D tackle.
Yeah, it's tough. It just depends on how the board falls, really, because within defensive tackles, I think out of the second round, you're done. It'll be burnt out there. And outside of the first, in my opinion, when it comes to corners, you're done. You're not going to be able to get your CB1 outside of the first round, in my opinion. Because that's kind of what you were saying earlier. Like when it comes to those kind of positions, you only be able to get that CB1 in the first. Like you're not going to be able to wait to the second. But man, we talked about defensive tackle, cornerback. Is there any other position you guys interested? Because I know Farrell, you have to go soon.
Yeah. I got a few more minutes, bro. I can spare.
Okay. Sure. Just touching on the top subjects as far as the draft is with the Raiders: cornerback, D tackle. We talked a little bit about offensive line. Oh, let's talk about the receivers, man. I know there's a lot in this class. Mm-hmm. And I definitely want to talk about them because we need one. I'm gonna start with you, Farrell. Who are your top 3 guys? Not who you think is gonna get drafted top 3, but who are your top 3 guys in the draft when it comes to wide receiver?
Like looking into it, because I was kind of focused on free agency. Because at the end of the day, like I said, free agency sets up the draft. But man, Drake London, I think that dude, I think he's probably the number 1 receiver for me. And then after that, I'll get Burks because I like size, man. I like the
Yeah.
prototypical big receiver. If you're gonna
Yeah.
go, if you're gonna go number one at receiver, get the big size. But obviously, that's not the main factor in a receiver being a number one receiver, but or number one option. I feel
Yeah.
like it's gonna be for me. It's Drake London, Burks, and then Garrett Wilson for me. Top three. But I got some dark horses too. I like Christian Watson.
Yeah.
I like Christian Watson, man. Like he like the biggest knock on him is his hands a little bit, which is huge.
Can
being a
you say
receiver,
he's a
but
dark horse now? I don't think you can. I feel like I feel like his name is out there. Like it's too. It's not dark horse anymore with Christian Watson. I feel like.
yeah. No, I get you. Because he had a good Senior Bowl. Like his combine
His
was amazing.
combine was good.
His combine was amazing. So someone might come up and like pretty much snatch him maybe in the late first. You never know.
I felt like George Pickens for a while was a dark horse for me, and then all of a sudden there wasn't no more. And then he just wasn't. I was like, oh dang! All of a sudden people like George Pickens now. But yeah, Christian Watson, I guess you could say that he's kind of on the outside looking in because of he doesn't go to that big name school. He's not out there on national television all the time. I guess you could say so. I hear you on that, man. So we got top three: London, Burks, and Wilson. What can you say to that, Sanjeet?
I like Wilson for sure. I don't like London, man. I'm not a fan of Drake London. For me, he's too tall. He doesn't create the same separation that you would want. Being 6'5" is great and all, but after 3 to 4 years of being hit as a wide receiver, is he going to continue? Because you slow down, right? You're going to be the quickest as soon as you enter the league. Years go on, you're going to slow down, right? That's kind of what's happened, in my opinion, to like Keenan Allen, Jarvis Landry, right? I think those guys have slowed down a ton. They don't create that same separation. And I have the same feeling that that's what's going to happen with Drake London. London does great at times, right? Like he'll jump over people. He'll be great back. You throw it backside, he'll catch it. For me, he's not in my top three. In my top three, I got Burks 1, Garrett Wilson 2, and it's very tough, but I'll put Jameson Williams 3. And I don't know when John Mechie fell out of being a first-round pick. Like I don't know when that happened, but like
coming good fit too for the Raiders.
Coming into this year, he was the first-round receiver. Like apparently, he was like I had Garrett Wilson coming into the year as my number one wide receiver, but I had John Mechie right behind him. I don't know how Mechie ended up falling. I think he got hurt, right? So
yeah, he got hurt,
which is understandable, but if you get him in the second or third round, like that would be crazy. Third round especially would be freaking crazy, right? But yeah, I think Burks is a difference maker, man. CeeDee Lamb is how I would compare Burks, right, coming into the league. And then Garrett Wilson, I don't really have a comparison for him, but I think he's a really good football player. Jameson Williams, super explosive. I think he has like that. He just has like this quickness to his game. I think he may end up having the best career. But if my top three goes Burks, Wilson, and then Williams, but and Williams could easily be number one. But that's kind of how I have it if I was selecting for the Raiders.
You said Jameson Williams?
Jameson Williams, yeah.
He's fast, like
super fast.
Crazy fast. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if he did run. I mean, obviously he's hurt, but it would have been a 4.2.
Oh, absolutely,
absolutely.
I like how you guys have Burks is not. Or hold on, you had London as number one, right? And then Burks.
I had London. I like number because I like that combination of his size and that shiftiness. It's just like that tells me like he can get open at the next level. To me, in my opinion, but. Sanjeet makes a good point. Keenan Allen is not the same player that he was, but what year is it for Keenan Allen? Like he's what
7 or 8, I think.
8 years. Maybe that's his talent. You know what I mean? Maybe that's his peak. As a player. So I get what you're trying to say.
Jeffrey, remember he was around for a few years, won a Super Bowl, and all of a sudden just disappeared.
Yeah.
But what I didn't like about London though, is that he came into the combine and he's actually 6'3". He's not.
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
Yeah.
They be doing some weird stuff out there at USC, man. I don't know what they be doing, man.
You know what it is?
Paying for kids to get into
teams list their players bigger, taller, faster, right? Teams do that. Like USC would list Drake London as being like 6'5". But you're right. He was 6'3". He was not 6'5".
Cashflow Raider says Drake London is a slower Waller. Watch the tape. I mean, I guess that's the comparison for Cash Lord.
Where do you have a London rank?
Drake London has better body control. I think he does have pretty good body control for a guy his size. I don't know if I have Drake London top 3. Burks, I would say Burks is my number 1. I know he ran kind of slow at the combine, but if you watch the tape, bro, I don't know what it is. Sometimes people just look like they moving slow. I don't know, but he ran past everybody on that Alabama defense, and you can't. When you watch the tape, and he did it twice. You know, he ran through the middle of the defense, and then there was another one to where he had a long pass. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. I'm not really worried about his combine. His size is great. He did multiple things. You know what I mean? Whether it was a back shoulder, whether it was over the top, or whether he was able to be lined up in the backfield. I don't know. He's a great football player. I think he's my number 1 for sure. Number 2, I would say Garrett Wilson. Dude shifty. Like every time you get the ball in his hands, it's almost like the moment he touches the ball, he's juking the air or something. I don't know what he be doing, but
like an Odell Beckham kind of.
Yeah, kind of like that, like a young Odell, healthy Odell. Back in the day, but just a little bit different, I would say. He just seems real shifty. I like that about Garrett Wilson. And then number three for me is pretty tough. It's not. I couldn't say any. Number 3. I don't know, man. I don't got a number 3 right now. I don't got a number 3 right now.
Pickens.
I like Pickens, but he's not a number 3. I think he'll be drafted later. He'll be drafted later, like not in the first round outside of these guys. But I like Pickens. I do, man. Those are my wide receivers. But Burks, if he falls to 22, we have to take him. Well, we just have to take him, in my opinion.
You guys don't like Chris Olave? I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Olave.
Yeah.
I think he's good. I just don't know. It's tough to rank.
He's fast. I feel like
he is definitely fast. He's definitely shifty as well. Coming into this year, Garrett Wilson was the guy for Ohio State that I loved. But I feel like as the season kind of progressed on, people started saying Chris Olave is going to go higher. But I feel like that's kind of shifting again now. Now where people are saying it's going to be Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
The wide receiving is another position that's kind of tough, but an interesting thing that's been kind of happening over the last couple of years is receivers are being taken more in the first round now. Right? Before, it used to be like tackles, defensive ends, corners, and quarterbacks. Right? Like you would have a tackle who may be way worse than like the number 1 wide receiver go higher just because of positional value. Mm-hmm. Now people are putting those receivers up there as well, right? You had what's his name?
And that's why I would want to rather go after receivers more than O-line. And that's what kind of we were talking about that at the beginning when we were talking about free agency.
Yeah.
And I think to your point, just look at Cincinnati. They went and got a receiver in Jamar.
Yeah.
Instead of getting a Panay Sewell, right? Or something like that. There was an offensive line, I believe, but they got a receiver.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, which is true, but see, this is the knock on wide receivers. You'll get 5 years out of a wide receiver before you have to pay them, right? Mm-hmm. Same thing with an offense tackle. You get 5 years out of a offense tackle before you have to pay them. Now, if you take a guy in the first round, you're likely going to have a top 5 tackle and a top 5 receiver, right? That's what you expect out of these guys. But are you going to pay a wide receiver $25 million when that contract comes due versus are you going to pay that tackle $25 million when that comes due, right? Generally, people will pay that tackle and not want to pay that wide receiver. And I think that's kind of been the thing why you wouldn't want to take a receiver, right, in the first round. Like we traded away Cooper. Cooper's a top 10 potential wide receiver, and we traded him away instead of paying him. DeAndre Hopkins got traded away instead of the Texans kind of keeping him around. All right. So I think that's kind of the thing with wide receiver, right? Either way, man, it's very interesting, man. Very, very interesting. I do got to hop off though.
Okay.
I appreciate it, Ray. Let's link up more often.
Yeah, most definitely, man. We're gonna have to link up, man, and talk about more of this. I know we were going into the draft. It's been a minute since me and Sanji were been able to link, so we was just touching on stuff while we're waiting on some news. I did see the Packers just grabbed Campbell, but I will let you go, Sanji. Appreciate you coming on, man. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Y'all know where to find the man at. Y'all know Sanjeet. Y'all know where to find the man at. Go ahead and let him know what's up with you, man.
Yeah, nice meeting you, brother.
You as well, man. Well, we got to link up as well. Definitely get both you guys on the channel. Starting a new format of like how I'm gonna be doing some videos. So I'm gonna hit both you guys up and get both you guys back.
For sure, no doubt. Yep.
Most definitely, man. Appreciate it, yo.
All right, man.
Peace.
Yeah, but I guess the Packers just picked up Devondre Campbell, 5-year deal worth $50 million.
And I got something to say about that. Just for just a little speculation here, because at the end of the day, they're paying this guy what 5-year, 50 mil, 60 mil.
Mm-hmm.
Are they bringing back Adams? Adams just came out and said that I'm not signing the franchise tag.
Yeah.
And like I was looking at something where he spoke up about it, and he was saying that saying something to the effect that I'm tired of taking the short end of the stick.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've been loyal to Aaron Rodgers, but it's time for me to, you know, get mines pretty much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I mean that potentially, but didn't they let go? Maybe they freed up some space because they let go of was it Darius Smith?
Yeah,
Did they free up any
that's
money?
true.
Did they free up any money getting rid of him?
I believe like about 15 mil possibly, but don't quote me on that. I could look that up and make sure. Hold on 1 second. I think I looked at it.
So he potentially right there could have been some money that freed up because he's only making 5 year, $50 million, so 10 a year. So they just probably turn around and recycle that money. Seahawks are re-signing tight end Will Dissly to a 3-year, $24 million deal.
Yeah, 15 million cap space for the Packers. That's how much it cutting.
So they basically picked him up for 10 a year, and they're saving some money by picking him up and letting go of what's his name. So they might just be trying to free up some money. That too,
true.
You know, or they could be just using the money now to just go get other pieces and let go of Adams, like you said.
That's true. That's true.
This is an interesting Will Dissly 3-year, $24 million deal. And if you think about it, Waller is only getting 7 a year. So Dissly just is getting more than Waller.
Yeah, and the thing about Waller, we're not going to have to deal with that until next year. But he's going to want an extension too as well.
They also re-signed Preston Smith though. Yep. Just to add to your point, they got Preston Smith.
Yeah, they're making all these moves. I'm like, hey man, like you got a receiver that's kind of, you know, that's the best receiver in the game, and he hasn't been signed. He's not happy and all this type of stuff. So they're kind of taking their sweet time. So we'll see how that shakes out. Because I'm not gonna lie, like if there's a chance that he comes to Las Vegas, that would be a game changer.
No, most definitely there is a chance. Did you see the Saints are giving wide receiver Deontay Harris a second round tender?
It makes sense. I mean, it makes sense because they need wide receiver help in general.
He's cool.
Yeah, they need wide receiver help in general, so they got to keep whatever talent they have. I think the craziest signing has to be Christian Kirk. I mean, but we see it every year. The bad teams always got to overpay. Crazy. Guess what? The Raiders did this in the past too, where we had to overpay. You know, remember when we signed Trent Brown, and everybody was talking about how we overpaid for Trent Brown at the time.
I feel like we didn't have to pay him though, man.
You know,
we really didn't.
Well, we had to. That was the only way we can get the players, and that's why the Jaguars had to overpay for Kirk, because Kirk was probably going to go somewhere else. So a better team.
Like I agree. I definitely agree with what you're saying. But personally, I feel like it was the wrong decision to overpay the tackle more than overpay like a wide receiver.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I was just like, dang, man, we paid that man a grip. And y'all talking about the LeBron James of right tackles. That was crazy. Yeah. That's crazy, man.
Yeah. But yeah, man, hey, it's gonna be crazy the next couple of days. I mean, it's already been crazy with some of these signings too. But who do you think will be the first signing? Would it be a corner? Is it gonna be right tackle? Is it gonna be receiver? So far, we only been hearing connections with receiver and corner. So, like, I'm gonna just make it easy for you. Just pick that.
To be honest, man, I feel like we're not gonna make a big splash. I think we're just gonna pick up, you know what I mean, some some decent guys. So I would have to go look at more of like the bottom of the list dudes. I'll be honest, man. I don't think we're getting J.C. Jackson. I would love to get him, but I don't see us getting him. You know, it just based off the past, I can't really remember the last time we really signed a big time defensive player. I really can't, you know.
You're kind of like you just trying to like keep your expectations low, so then you don't get let down. Because I feel like there's a lot of rumors that are saying that pretty much saying that it's the Chargers or the Raiders for J.C. Jackson, and he's just weighing like the factors. Because at the end of the day, J.C. Jackson, he came in as an undrafted free agent, and guess who found him? Dave Z. Yep. So there's that connection. So he there's a lot of familiarity with Las Vegas and J.C. Jackson, on top of it being a really good scheme fit too as well. Mm-hmm. And AJ, man, I'm with you, man. I like Carlton Davis. Like that'd be a smart pickup.
I could see us getting Carlton Davis. I could see us getting a corner like that.
Yeah, I like that.
I don't want Carlton Davis though. I'll be honest. I don't want him.
But we gotta get somebody. Who do you envision us getting in free agency at corner?
I can see us getting what AJ Simpson says right here. I can see us getting Kyle Van Noy and Carlton Davis, because the reason I see us getting those guys is because those are the guys I don't want. That's why I can see.
Who do you want there?
Man, I want J.C. Jackson at the end of the day.
Jackson? Yeah,
I think that's the only. I just don't see the point in going to try to, like, you know what I mean, go the cheaper route. It's like, just go get the real deal. Let's just go get the real deal, and then we'll worry about the rest.
Yeah, but it takes two to tango, man.
And not only that, just think about last year. We already did the patchwork stuff. Like, we already went through this.
Yeah.
Who did we sign last year that is like, okay, that's, you know what I mean? He was the one. Like, you know what I mean? And he's still on the team. Nobody.
Yeah.
Yannick was the biggest free agent, and even then, he's just a pass rush specialist. We knew that. We knew he wasn't a run stuffer. You know what I mean? And if you think about it, he's not even the best defensive player. So if you bring in JC or defensive lineman on our team, you know, if you bring in JC Jackson, it's like, bro, automatic. Even if we don't even keep Trayvon Mullen, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I'm at with it. With Carlton Davis, I feel like it's risky. I feel like that's a lot more risk. Where you're putting a lot more risk right there with Carlton Davis.
Pretty much what you're saying. You said you better go big or just go low. No middle. No middle.
Yeah.
Player.
No. Oh yeah. I'm trying to get. You know what I mean, something a little nice right here, and then I'm just getting oh man, just go get the real deal.
Yeah.
Like, quit pump. It's like almost pump faking. Like, quit pump faking. Just go get. Just go handle it.
Invest your money wisely, basically.
Just go get the real deal. That's all I'm saying. Get the real deal, man.
But you know, it takes two to tango. At the end of the day, we got the players got to want to come here too. You know what I mean? So we'll see. We'll see.
Element says I don't want Carlton either. He don't wow me. The thing is, for me, is like, I'll be honest. I haven't watched a lot of film on Carlton Davis. I haven't. I didn't watch every single Tampa Bay Bucks game. I'm not a Tampa Bay Bucks fan. But for the little I have watched on him, I don't really like him that much. I don't see him like that man sticky coverage guy. I mean, what kind of corner would you say he is? Would you say he's a man coverage, zone coverage, a slot guy? Like, where you at with Carlton Davis?
He's more of a man corner, but he can play zone too. He can play both. You know what I mean? He can do both for you. But I just feel like it would be a good investment just because he has potential to be a number one corner. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because and he's 25 years old. It's a good investment. You give him like a 3-4 year contract. You know what I mean? It's a good investment. But it just so happens that J.C. Jackson is also a free agent and he's 26 years old.
Yeah.
So it's not like J.C. Jackson's like 28, 29. So it just makes it okay. It's smarter to go with Carlton. It's just that J.C. Jackson is also way more productive, and more established, and he's around the same age. So I get what you're saying, but at the end of the day, like, you got to have a number one corner, you got to have a number two corner, you got to have like rankings. And if you can't get J.C. Jackson, who's the next guy?
Carlton, 100%, 100%. And at that point, I just wouldn't even get him. I'll be honest. I just wouldn't even get him because I feel like the thing is how much you have to pay, right? How much do you have to pay in comparison for Carlton Davis, which is kind of risky, versus J.C. Jackson? How much would that difference be? Now, if it's a huge difference, then okay, I understand. But if it's only like a 4, you know what I mean? If it's under $5 million difference, you're tweaking. There's no, you know what I mean? I'm not. You have to make that up and get J.C. Jackson. If you're only saving a couple million on top of that, that's just my opinion.
So your thing is this. Your thing is
It's
this.
almost like boomer bust for me with Carlton Davis. It just scares me.
If you can't get the top player, at that position, then you want a role player.
Yes.
At the right price. Role player at the right price, basically. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I get that. But, I just feel like Carlton Davis has potential to be number one. I feel like it's not going to be a bad signing. They can make a contract where, it makes sense for both parties. But I hear what you're saying.
He said, did we sign anyone day one lasted one season?
I think he's talking about last free agency. Did we sign anybody day one? Yeah, we did. I think it was the DN. Yannick. Yannick was the guy that we signed, I think.
Yeah, Yannick.
Yes, sir.
Fang Vu says, go big or go home, like Ray says. That's pretty much what I'm saying, man. That's pretty much. And it's not even so much go big or go home. It's like just get the best available at that spot. Just solidify the spot. Don't have any question marks about it. Just go get that, and the rest is just roll or cheap. And that's just kind of where I'm at with it, man. Like, come on.
Hey, so someone in the chat said Raid only wants Elam or nobody.
Yeah, Agent Red. Agent Red said Raid won.
Agent Red, man. Shout out to you, bro.
Nah. That's the thing. I want J.C. Jackson,
Yeah.
I want J.C. Jackson, but if it's not a man coverage guy, then
yeah.
Like is he man coverage like Carlton Davis, J.C. Jackson? When it comes to man coverage, if you had to rate J.C. Jackson on a scale of 1 to 10 and then rate Carlton Davis, where would that scale be at?
The thing about J.C. Jackson, J.C. Jackson will be higher, but the thing that I like about him is just that the fact that the interceptions, bro, like that dude is a playmaker, and he's getting it playing it man to man. Like he's getting it one-on-one single coverage. I think I seen a stat somewhere where he had the most interceptions since 2019 playing single coverage, which that's crazy. That's a crazy stat. But man, yeah, JC Jackson is definitely like he's the best corner like out there right now. So I'm with you.
What's Carlton Davis? How much is everybody willing to pay Carlton Davis? How much y'all willing to pay this man? That's what I'm thinking. How much y'all willing to pay? I feel like he's gonna get that CB1 money.
Let's see what they're saying.
And he's gonna pull a Josh Norman.
Mm-hmm. Let's see what Spot Track is saying about Carlton Davis.
That's what I think, man. That's just what I think. I think Carlton Davis is gonna pull a Josh Norman. But we'll see.
17 mil? Would you say 17 mil is a little too high?
No, I could see that. I could definitely even see higher, man. I could see somebody paying more than that.
It depends. You know what's going to happen? He's probably waiting for J.C. Jackson to get signed.
Yeah,
or one or the other. So,
because right now 20 is like the top. Is like top of the line corner is going to be 20, 21 plus.
Yeah,
and J.C. Jackson is getting probably 21 plus.
Yeah, man, I'm worried about that receiver. Like that signing that Christian Kirk just did. That was disgusting.
Yeah, that was that. It definitely scares you,
man, because it's like, damn, like that kind of like tells you like that speaks to your point about like, all right, then do you want to pay Allen Robinson that much? Do you want to pay DJ Shark that much?
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, like, do you just want to get like a role player that fits? Because we've seen it with McDaniels and how he can fit his offense with slot receivers and tight ends, and then hit role players on the outside. Like, who can fit? Because I've seen MVS as like basically a rumor saying that the Raiders are one of the teams that are interested in MVS. He's a role player on the outside. You know what? He's not a sexy pickup just because, like, at the end of the day, like his hands are questionable, but he's a deep threat. is what I'm trying to say. He's a deep threat. He can play that role on the outside. 6'4".
He ain't got no hands, man.
Yeah, but I'm not saying he's a number one receiver. See,
the thing is, he don't got hands.
Exactly.
I need you to at least be able to catch the ball every time, because you can't be that. You can't be a role player and not do your job.
But the thing is, it's how you use them. If it's a high volume receiver, then hell yeah, I want the receiver. Either way, I want a receiver to catch. But if it's like a receiver that plays a role that goes just pretty much goes deep at the end of the day. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. Yeah, that goes deep, then I'm okay with that at the end of the day. Like, because at the end of the day, we could team him up with someone in the draft. Because think about it, if we pick up MVS, that means we go into the draft saying that, okay, we need to pick receiver within the first couple rounds, and we can with confidence. We can pick a receiver that's talented, that can fit in on the outside, that can fit what you're trying to say, a guy that can catch, that guy that can get open. You know what I'm saying? And if we pick up MVS, we can pick up another free agent because he's not that expensive compared to like an Allen Robinson or a DJ Shark but what messes everything up is what's his face, Christian Kirk getting that contract. It kind of throws everything off because now you're wondering who is going to get what now. How much is this receiver going to get? You know.
UL says no cornerback besides JC getting 12 to 5 million. CB market about 8 to 10 a year. Now CB market more than that, bro. Especially these are the highest paid corners right now are 20 to 21 million. Like,
AJ said I described Hayward Bay. Nah, you way better. You way better than Hayward Bay.
Yeah,
Hell no.
MVS, yeah, MVS is better than. But that's the thing. Like, you're only going to get the ball so many times. Your catch rate needs to be extremely high. You know what I mean? Like, you're getting the ball only so many times, my guy. Like, if we throw you a deep ball, that means that's our shot. We're taking a shot, and you missed that shot because you dropped it. And I don't like those kind of players, man. I do not. I can't do it. MVS was never on my board, man. Never on my board. But I hear what you're saying. He definitely could be that outside. He has speed. He has some size. He could be that outside receiver. But
he's a role player. The role player.
Yeah.
I just want to make that clear to everybody in the chat. And you,
I hear you.
Because where the ball is going to be going, it's going to be going to Renfro. It's going to be going to Waller, and whoever's going to be playing on the other side. Because I'm sure it's going to be a way more talented player. He's just going to be coming in the game to play his role, to scare that safety, and then we can take a couple of shots with him. That's all I'm saying. Like, because we don't know how the free agency is going to play out. We don't know if we can get Shark. We don't know if we can get these good receivers that can potentially be a number one receiver for us. If we can't, then we got to have a plan B or plan C, you know?
Yeah, I hear you, man. Shout out Michael Guerrero. He says, just to sub to you, Ray. Appreciate everybody that's here with us, man. I'm with Farrell NFL. He has his own page. Go ahead and let him know, man. Make sure y'all go over there and subscribe to him at Farrell NFL.
Yes, sir. Hey, y'all can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I'm pretty active over there. Basically Farrell NFL, just like Ray said, and also I got a YouTube channel as well. I dropped a few videos on breaking down like the front office hires, and then also recently I broke down like the top free agent receivers, where I had MVS as a receiver in that list as well. So check that out. And I actually went live for the first time yesterday, so that was y'all can check that out as well. So Farrell NFL, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube.
Yep. Shout out Farrell for pulling that, man. Appreciate you being here. If y'all can, make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, man. And I appreciate everybody being here. Ready for Life says this looks like a funeral so far. Yeah, man, it's dry, yo.
It's dry.
There's nothing really going on. I'm checking Twitter because I feel like Twitter is where you're gonna hear it first, right?
Yeah, Twitter is the news.
It says right here, free agent tight end Mo Alley Cox is headed back to the Colts on a 3-year deal. That's pretty much it. I know a lot of people are talking about the Hunter Renfro extension now because of what Christian Kirk's contract is looking like. I know a lot of people are talking about that. Castro, the boy got the Coke White Pro Club. Yeah, bro. You can only do the pro. You can only do white tees in this, man. You can't do any other brand, or else it's gonna be dingy, man. It's gonna be like you're gonna have a bacon collar with the see-through white because it's so thin. Like I can't do it, man. I can't do it.
I feel you.
LV Maximus says Raiders pick someone. Yeah, man. We haven't done anything. It's dry, y'all. It's dry. It's dry right now. Nothing brewing as far as that, but there's still some players on the board. Players that we want are still on the board, right? How many players that have really got signed that we wanted to go after? One, maybe Christian Kirk.
Oh, I'm hearing that easy money saying Shark got signed. Hold up, let me check this out real quick.
Shark got signed. You sure?
I don't know,
Based
man.
on who? Shark got signed.
I don't know.
I don't see that. I don't know.
Please don't be giving out fake news here, bro. Let's
see. Come on, do something. Yeah, nothing crazy. Brian Allen returning to the Rams, a 3-year deal.
I do see NFL rumors about like an hour ago saying the Raiders have negotiated with DJ Shark today. So they're talking to him. They're talking to DJ.
According to who said that?
It's on Twitter, NFL rumors. They're pretty legit. I mean, with their rumors and stuff like that. But it's nothing. It's nothing official. I mean, it's all speculation at this point. So I don't see anything saying that DJ Shark has been signed.
Kelly George says, I'm joining in late, but did y'all talk about Adams rejecting the franchise tag? Yeah, we kind of touched on it. Farrell made a good point on how they're signing players outside of Adams. So it could look like maybe he's going to end up being, you know what I mean, get moved or something like that. Maybe they are trying to finesse for Adams, you know, and I kind of said that as devil advocate. I kind of said that as well.
Yeah, man. I don't see that anywhere, but
I don't see anybody getting. I don't see anybody getting.
You try to come here with some game breaking news, and it wasn't even any news.
He said fake news.
Fake news.
I haven't seen Chark signing, and people are saying that Chark is in Vegas. Someone just said Chark left Vegas. That's because I think he went out there just to visit, man. I mean, it's the off season. Nobody's playing football. They're gonna go out and, you know what I mean, do stuff like regular human beings, and you know, just so happen to be a free agent going to Vegas. So yeah, it'll probably get a little bit blown out of proportion, I think, in my opinion. But at the same time, you never know. You never know.
Yeah, it's all speculation at this point, but don't worry. I mean, something's gonna happen because I'm seeing the Raiders in a lot of rumors. So
yeah,
that tells me they're being active right now, and that was what everybody was saying going into free agency. We just haven't seen anything official, but we'll see something soon. Well, definitely, I feel like corner is gonna be that first position that we lock down for sure, because just based off Patrick Graham's press conference, like I said earlier, like. He wants some talent on that defense, and he brought up corner as one of the positions that he like values and needs on that defense. So, you know, I feel like that's probably the first move.
Did you hear about this? It says Russell Wilson trying to recruit Bobby Wagner to the Broncos.
I've heard rumors that Bobby Wagner could possibly go to the Broncos, but nothing official that he's signed there or whatever. But hey, there's a connection there though. He does know Russell Wilson. They probably have a need at linebacker. Bobby Wagner is a player, but I feel like he's more of a luxury signing if we pick him up. He's going to want money. And I'm not sure if we want to pay that much to Bobby Wagner.
Yeah, well, they do need linebackers, so that's interesting right there, man. I'm just wondering what we're going to do because a lot of the people in our division have already made moves. And the only thing we've done is try to retain the players we got on our team already.
Yeah.
So, oh man.
Cash Flow Raider said fake like LeBron hairline.
Terrible news. He said fake like when Carr throws a pick and stay on the ground for 5.
And that was funny, bro. That was funny.
That was a good one. He always faked that weak ass injury. Raiders are quiet because they busy trying to trade for Adams. I don't want to give up any crazy picks for Adams, yo.
Yeah, that's the thing. I know people are kind of talking about like Adam. I know Adams is a great player, but do you really want to trade 2 first-round picks for Adams? And we just talked about all the needs that we got to get a right tackle, we got to get a corner, we got to get a D tackle, we need some linebackers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe throwing a guard in there. You know what I mean? So it's like 2 first rounders. You know,
Nope.
I know
I'm not doing it.
Adams is a game changer, but it's just like, damn. I wish that we had a solid enough team where we only had a couple of holes where Adams would make sense. We could figure out a way, but we have so much like
It's funny
holes, it doesn't make
because
sense.
we talked about this. I believe I was on live with like Graf and them, and we were talking about this. And this was a while back. This was when the season was still going and stuff. And it was like, oh, would you take Adams? Blah blah. Trade. Would you trade 2 firsts for him? Would you trade 2 firsts for him? And I'm like, no. And people are like, oh, you're crazy. It's like Raiders tripping. And now that we're here, it's like, would you trade 2 first-round picks for Davante Adams?
Yeah.
Then when he gets here, you got to pay him $30 million. Like, it makes no sense.
Yeah, it doesn't. It
It
doesn't.
makes no sense. And I would not do it. I would not do it. I'm sorry. I couldn't do it.
It doesn't.
Not me.
It doesn't. And that's another thing too, because you know, shout out to you, bro. Like we're literally doing like a mock draft for the members only, and we got breaking news of Matt getting traded. And when we heard the news, obviously, just like every Raider fan, we're like, fuck, like Mac of all players. It wasn't just the talent that we're talking about. We were like, damn, because Mac played for the Raiders. You know, he was that dude. But that being said, like I asked you, Raid, I was like, man, would it be worth it to do that trade with Mac with his contract? And you're like, hell no. And the reason why you said hell no, because you were thinking about all the needs that we have on the team, and it just didn't make sense with his contract. And even though
you're not gonna be able to have the money to pay other people, you're not gonna have that draft capital anymore.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, the situation with the Cowboys is so funny, and because when we traded Amari Cooper to them, we got that first, right? So they basically tied their own hands. Like, we have to sign Cooper to an extension, or else we basically sent away a first-round pick for a 1-year rental.
Yeah.
So they signed him to an extension, and fast forward to today, and they turn around and trade him away for what? What did they trade him away for? A fourth and a fifth, or?
You talking about Mac? It was second round. Cooper. It was fifth and a sixth. Was it fifth and a sixth?
Right. So you traded for him for a first, you pay him, and then now fast forward now you trade him away for a fifth and a sixth. So it's like, I just don't see trading too much capital. Like, it just depends, man. Honestly, it just depends. It has to be like a one-of-a-kind talent, in my opinion, if you're going to be doing some crazy trades like that, on top of having to pay a person. Like, it would have to be something like that. Like,
yeah.
And I don't think Adams is that. Like, if Adams was maybe like 25, and he is who he is right now, and he's 25, I think we might be able to pull something off, bro. But not right now.
Yeah, because you got to think about it too. Like, Adams is probably in the last stretch of his prime.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? You got to assume that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Jerry Rice is on the last stretch. You're right.
You get what I'm trying. Jerry Rice is the only exception where this dude was playing until like he was into his like late 30s, early 40s, and still was good. But like for the most part, like this is where players kind of hit the last stretch of their prime. So it's like, do you want to trade? You want to trade you want to trade your 2 first-round picks the next couple of years, and you got to sign a contract that's probably going to take most of your cap room or your cap space. I don't know.
It's not worth it,
Shout out to you, Chuck.
It's just not worth it, man. Any latest news? Nothing crazy. Cardinals re-signing Colt McCoy to a 2-year, $7.5 million deal. That's the last thing I see so far. Nothing else. Colt McCoy, yep. Just so Colt McCoy so far is the latest news that I see. White Tyson says first in a Waller for Adams. No, I'm not doing that, man. I'd rather keep Waller in that first because you can go get a receiver, and then you would have a receiver like Burks and Waller instead of just having Adams. Plus, you don't have to pay all that money to Adams. You would just have a guy on a rookie deal and have Waller for $7 million for the low.
How do you feel about Landry, Javon Landry, who was just released by the Browns today?
Jarvis Landry, I would bring him in. I feel like he's one of those Carr guys. You know, I feel like Carr doesn't need a fast receiver. He needs a guy that's going to be able to use his body, run routes, be a threat in the red zone, and play on the outside. That's Carr's. That's those are the best receivers Carr has played with. Those kind of receivers. So I would definitely let it bring in Jarvis Landry. I think he still has a lot left too. I just think he was in Cleveland.
Is he an outside receiver or is he a slot?
He could hold. Is he a slot? I don't think he's a slot. I wouldn't say he's a slot. I think he could play outside, man.
Because he's not super. He's not super fast. I'm not saying that he can't, but I'm just saying like,
yeah,
he was productive playing the slot in Miami and in with Cleveland. So
Landry old. How old is Landry?
At the right price? He's not that old.
What is he?
Think, he's the same age as like Odell, like probably like 28, 29. You can get him at the right price.
Yeah, I think you can get Landry at the right price. I like Landry.
So he's 5'11", and he's 29. He's 29.
So he'll be 30 when
he'll be 30. He'll be 30 this year.
Yeah,
November.
So, I mean, I like Landry. I don't think he'd be an expensive option. And this is what I was saying earlier. Like, you either go get the top guy, or you're just going to end up with guys like Jarvis Landry. And I wouldn't mind getting Jarvis Landry personally, because then you would be able to pair him up with a young receiver in the draft. That's how I would see it.
See, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think the Raiders should get like 2 receivers in the free agency. One obviously being a big fish, and then one like complimentary veteran receiver. I was kind of thinking about Jacoby Myers, but I just found out today that I think he was a restricted free agent, so they put a second round tender. The Patriots put a second round tender. So like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna give out no second rounder for Jacoby Myers. But maybe. And then at the end of the day too, you got to think about this. What's good, Raider Gabe? There are trades to be made. There's possibly going to be a trade to be made too as well.
Most definitely. No latest news. What are some trades you thinking about though, man? What are some trades that you thinking about?
The most popular trade that fits, I think, at receiver would be Brandon Cooks from the Texans.
Oh, yep. You know
what I mean? Because the Texans right now, are they rebuilding? What are they doing? Cooks is on his last year on his deal. Mm-hmm. It's about like $8 million, or I don't know how many. They might want to free up that cap space, might go younger at the position, because this draft, like I said, like we've been talking about, it's a lot of receivers in this draft. So they could easily get rid of Cooks. He's not a bad player. It's just that it just doesn't fit. Like, they're rebuilding, and he's a veteran, aging veteran. Might as well get something while you can. So the Raiders can come in, snatch him up. He played in McDaniel's offense, got some speed to him, could fit. But I don't like to speculate too much about that, because at the end of the day, it has to happen at the end of the day before we can even talk about it. So, but it makes sense.
Definitely hear that. King 85 pulled up. What's cracking, man? He says, "Call me crazy. I don't want Adams. He was on a better team with a better quarterback in a softer division and still didn't win a bowl. He's a baller, but not what we need right now." I could definitely, I definitely agree with that to an extent. It just depends what it would cost to get him.
Yeah.
Right. If we have to trade away picks and then sign him to a contract, no, there's no way. That would hurt our team too much. There's no way we do that. But I hear you, man. And I don't think you're crazy to say you don't want Adams. I think there's another way we can go about building this team. And this wide receiver classes in the draft is deep. So I don't know. I don't know if you have to spend $30 million a year on a wide receiver.
It don't make sense.
Plus have to trade for him.
Yeah.
Right. So that's a lot, man. Raider Mike says, here from Doc's channel, LOL went down. What do you mean it went down? What happened? That's wild, man. Appreciate the super chat, King. Appreciate the super chat. If y'all just pulling up, man, we're here with my boy Farrell, NFL. Appreciate y'all being here. Y'all can be anywhere. If y'all can't, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button as well, man. We're just talking about this free agency talk. Nothing too crazy. Looking for the updates. Waiting for the Raiders to make a move. Will the Raiders make a move here soon? Nobody knows. It's just speculation. It's just rumors. But we are here trying to update you on the latest news, man. And in between, we may talk about the draft. We may talk about some potential guys we could pick up. Doc Holliday says, Yo, Raider, what's going on? Who's your guest so I can subscribe? Go ahead and let them know where they can find you at, Farrell. Go ahead and let them know.
So y'all can find me on Twitter and Instagram, Farrell NFL, and obviously my YouTube channel is the same, Farrell NFL. It's spelled exactly the same, PHAROAH NFL. Y'all can find me there, man. And I'm pretty active on social media with Twitter and Instagram. Y'all can hit me up, talk about it, watch my videos. I got videos breaking down, like I said, the front office hires. I had like a free agency video, and I also had a live yesterday just talking about free agency. Man, go out, hey, show some support, show some love to your Raider Nation brother.
Appreciate that, man. Y'all know where to find him, man. Y'all know where to find him at. White Titan says Max liking Matthew's tweets. See, I'm a fan of bringing in Tyrone Mathieu. Just depends on the cost. Just depends on that price. I feel like he could ask for a little too much than what I would want to pay him.
Because that's why he's leaving. He's leaving the Chiefs, or he's entertaining offers because he doesn't feel like he's getting the contract offer from the Chiefs. So
yeah.
Are we going to be the team that pays him? I don't know. I don't know if Daisy goes that route. We'll see.
Yeah. He said, I've been sub to both of y'all. Say less. Yeah, shout out to Cash Lord, man. Cash Lord, right? He's been on the channel before, so shout out to Cash Lord, man. Being here, being able to support. My 2 cents says acquire wide receiver Cooks and draft the wide receiver. I would be down for that. I would definitely be down for that. I wouldn't be mad at that at all.
Yep.
Not at all. We talked about wide receivers earlier in the draft that we could potentially get. We had just touched on how we could potentially trade for Cooks. And you were saying, how much do you think he would cost as far as a trade? What kind of pick do you think we'd have to give up for him?
Realistically, I think probably because I'm not gonna lie, he's been productive with like really like the quarterback play hasn't been really consistent, and he's still dropping like 80 catches, 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns, something like that. I got to look it up to make sure, but I would say maybe like a third, fourth. You know, he is on his last year, so we would be taking.
I wouldn't give up anything more than the fourth. I wouldn't give anything more than the fourth. Third in this draft, I feel like I could potentially
starter.
If something were to happen, I could potentially get a wide receiver D tackle to start on my football team.
You can get a wide receiver. You can get a guard. Y'all got to remember. I don't know. I got to look into the draft, but you got to remember Gabe Jackson back in the day. He was drafted in the 3rd round. You can get players like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But you also could get players like Edwards too. You know, so let's remember that.
And we got to remember he's on our team. He's on our team. We have 2 receivers on our team. We got Brian Edwards and Hunter Renfro. We got to add at least 3 more.
Yeah.
At least 3 more. So we'll see what happens. With the people says, I'm a huge fan of the Honey Badger. So am I, man.
Me too, bro. He a playmaker.
Or he joins us to get back at the Chiefs. I just think he's a smart football player. I think he's smart. He knows the game. He knows schemes. He knows like plays. You know what I mean? He knows the checks when the quarterback goes. He's like a quarterback on the defense itself. You know
and that would be huge. That would be so huge for a guy like Morig to play with a veteran. Like, because if you think about it, their skill set is kind of the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Free safety. They can come in and play man in the slot. You know what I mean? So it's like you just got to move around. I think Morig needs to take that next step as far as making plays because he dropped a few picks this year.
Yeah, man.
So, we'll see.
Yeah, Merrick. Yeah, he definitely got to get on the jug machine because, boy, I'll be like, man, if you don't just catch the damn ball, Merrick, if you don't catch the ball, like.
Was it against the Bengals where he dropped a pick or was it against it was against Washington? It was Washington.
Yeah.
He could have iced it.
At the end of the game. He had a chance to ice it.
To the house.
I was like, Merrick, bro, you're such a great football player. You're always in the right spot. But, man, it's like, bro, just catch the football.
Yeah, but that's the next step, though. That's the next step. You know, he showed us a lot.
Most definitely. He would help Merrick a lot. Can you imagine Mathieu and Merrick playing safety?
Yeah, man, that's what I like about it. Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of teams do that now. They have 2 great safeties. Look at the Bills.
Yeah, because they're playing that too high.
Yeah, Bills got great safeties, 2 great safeties. He's a defensive quarterback. Yeah, man. He's a dog. Raider for Life says Chargers made an offer to JC. I haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah, I mean, and I was talking about this on my live, or it might have been on Dirty's. I think that Abram I think he could possibly get cut. He could either get cut or traded because if you think about it, they're not going to pick up his 5th-year option. Then this new regime is going to tell him to turn into a linebacker, and if he feels like he's a safety, would you want to like? And he has 1 year left. Would you want to change your whole body, you know what I mean? Like just for a regime that just came in, new coaching staff, new front office that just came in? He's probably not going to trust them. He's probably going to feel like, hey, look, at the end of the day, like I did what y'all told me to do. It didn't work out there. I might need to go to a different team and play there and fit there instead of like turning into a linebacker. Because if he turns into a linebacker, it could possibly go left too.
Yeah. I like him at safety.
But what type of defense though? It would have to be a defense that fits his skill set.
Oh no, man! I just feel like I feel like if you give him, oh no, man! I would just keep him. I would just keep him. Have him do it.
This is the same player. I'm not gonna lie. Like when I turned on Abram, I was giving him a chance. I was like, man, you know what? Let him. Hey, you know, he played with Paul Gunther. You know what I mean? Give him a chance. But when I seen him get mossed by a running back against the Chiefs, I was like, God. Bro, come on, bro. Like that can't be on film. That can't be on tape. Yeah. That's embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like, hey, man, like it might be best to go separate ways because at the end of the day, like, where is his spot on this defense? He can't cover anybody.
He had that Jabril Peppers rule.
Who's a better player? Peppers? Who's a better player? Peppers or Abrams?
I haven't watched a lot of Peppers, but I haven't watched a lot of Peppers to say definitively who's better, but he has better ball skills. I can say that for sure. That's
he's available too.
Abram needs better ball skills, bro. He's in the right spot. Every time, I swear, he's always in the right spot, but it's almost like, oh no, it's like, oh no, what happened? Like, what are you doing, bro? Just all you do is turn your head and locate the football.
But I don't think that could be taught, though. I don't think it could be taught because for some reason, certain players, they know how to make plays. There's guys, there's corners that played a lot of snaps, starting snaps. I forgot it was a corner that played for us, actually, that played slot corner, that didn't have a pick until he left us. Like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He never had a pick his whole career. This dude has been a starter for other teams. I forgot his name. I don't know if Chat can help me out, but he was a slot corner for us before last year.
TJ Carey?
No, it wasn't TJ Carey. It was a year before. He was suspended the first 2 games. First 2 years, like I don't know.
Oh, the first 2 games. Daryl Worley?
Nah, not Worley.
He was suspended. He was the one suspended. Remember?
Damn, I can't believe I can't remember it. But it was a corner. Slot corner, and they play him on the outside too.
Where'd he go?
Did he go?
Where'd he come from? What team he come from?
Lawson. There you go, Lawson.
Nevin Lawson.
This dude he ain't never had a pick until he had a pick last year. He's been in the league for like what, 4, 5, 6, 7 seasons. So I don't think ball skills is something that could be taught. It's either you have it or you don't. You know what I mean? It just. Where have you seen a situation where it could be taught? I don't know. Like, you got to show me.
Yeah, I mean, true. I hear you.
That gets me worried about Morig too a little bit. But he's a good player. I like Morig, but you know, I don't want to compare him to like Nevin Lawson. But you know,
this dude Raider J Rock says, "I think y'all wrong." It's like, bro, we're not even. We both said the opposite thing. So what are y'all talking about?
What? Hey, Raider J Rock, what are you talking about?
Oh my gosh, are you even listening, bro? This man saying one side, I'm saying a completely different thing. He said, "I think y'all wrong."
Yeah, Ashton, it's Pharaoh. Yeah, Pharaoh, but it's spelled Pharoh. So
isn't it Pharaoh?
Pharaoh, Pharoh. So
it's
if you look at
Pharaoh,
Ashton,
like the Neptunes.
No, not like Pharaoh. No.
Yeah, it's not Pharaoh. Yeah, it's not Pharaoh like the Neptunes. It's
Pharaoh NFL.
Yeah.
Farrell NFL.
Farrell like
Hey, Raider J Rock. I wanna know what he's talking about. Honestly.
yeah, he said, I think y'all wrong. It's like, bro, what?
What you
You said
mean?
one thing, I said different.
We've been saying opposite things, low key.
He's like, I think he should play linebacker. I'm like, no, I think he's all right. He's like, I think y'all wrong. I think you're gonna say something crazy.
Oh, okay. Nah. Raid is actually he wants to keep Abram. I'm like, in my opinion, what have you seen that would make him fit in this defense? You know what I'm saying? I know you said the Jabril Peppers role, but I'm gonna give him a chance.
I like Abram, man. I like him a lot, man. Honestly, I do.
I do too. I think he has certain parts of his games that's good, but it's almost like he's literally a role player.
He's a liability.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
like
he is a role player. I'm not mad at that.
But so you know what? Graham's gonna figure it out. That's why he gets paid the big bucks. He's the DC of this team, so he's gonna have to make it fit. But I'm just saying, like I've heard a lot of people say that he needs to be moved to linebacker because literally he cannot play past a certain amount of like yards. You know what I mean? Like it just seems like he just plays in that area near the line of scrimmage, and if it's past that, it's like he gets nervous. He just makes a lot of mistakes. Yeah, he can't cover. White Tyson, I agree.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody's arguing Abram's coverage skills. I don't think anybody's defending Abram's coverage skills here. I don't think that's a thing. I think there's to say Abram's a terrible football player. I think you'd be a fool to say that.
Yeah.
To say he's bad in coverage, I think you'd be 100% right.
Yeah.
But to say he's a bad football player, I think you'd be 100% wrong. And that's just all I'm saying. I think he's a good football player. I mean, there's plenty of times that he made plays for us. Like, come on, let's be honest. He's making tackles 3 yards in the back of the field, and our linebackers aren't even doing that. Like he's a better run defender than most of our defensive linemen.
No, he got his strengths. He definitely got his strengths.
And then when he's doing plays, like remember when we played the Cleveland Browns and he like literally read the play. Remember that? When he just jumped, when we played the Cleveland Browns and he just came flying in, bro.
Yeah.
And it's like
that was one of his best games.
Bro, and to me, I'm like, those are flashes. This is a young safety, a young box safety. And these are flashes, and you have to develop, and you just have to develop that. He's showing those flashes. And to me, I'm like, bro, you can't give that up. Like this man is showing flashes of making big time plays. Stopping a bunch of plays on third down. He always stops plays on third down, like Element Pro was saying, to where we force him into fourth down situations because he's making some type of hit before they get the first. And that's why I like him. I'm like, this dude's I like him. I like him, man. I just don't I just agree with everything you said that he's a liability in coverage because I agree with that. So it's hard for me to defend him because he is.
And that's the thing. Gus Bradley came to this team and he kind of knew what Abram was, and he made sure to put him in positions to succeed as far as near the line of scrimmage to make plays.
Yeah.
But when we played the good teams, the good quarterbacks, the good OCs, like the KC Chiefs, somehow, some way, they got Abram in one-on-one coverage, and that's our weakness. You know what I mean? That's what I'm just looking at it from that perspective. It's like, damn, when we play good teams, they're gonna look at that defense like, who can we target? And it seems like Abram is that guy that they target. Abram or one of our linebackers. Perryman obviously is not getting coverage. So just like,
I feel you. I definitely feel you. I just one issue ain't a reason to cut him in. He's not the only safety with cover issues. I hear you. I want to put it in. I want to put it that way, Element, but I do understand what you're saying. Agent Red said he's strictly a box safety. Yeah. 10 tackles a game almost. Yep. Great against the run. Jay likes him. Let's see what White Tyson says. He's as good as the 8th man in the box. He can't play exclusively in the box. That's not what safeties are for. He can't play exclusively. I think if you put him at too high, I don't know, man. Personally, I just think he's a solid player, man. I'm sorry. I think he's a solid player. For me, it's almost like I feel like we're holding Abram at such a high standard. It's like, so I don't know. I think we're just holding such a high standard. It's like he's a strong safety. He might get mossed a couple of times because he is a strong safety. I mean, that's just my opinion. How many times have we seen our corners get mossed, getting burnt, getting killed out there? You know what I mean? Abram covers better than Arnett, and Arnett's a first-round cornerback. So I think, like, for me, it's just like, dang, we're really holding Abram to such a high standard, especially for a Raiders football team. You know, not every guy is going to be a shutdown guy. And I just think Abrams made a lot of plays compared to the plays he has given up. And it's not like the plays he's given up were like, oh man, you're ridiculous. No, it was like, dang, you got mossed, bro. Like somebody made a play on you. Somebody made a play on you, and it looked super bad. But he's always in position to make a play. You can never tell me a time. Like, think about when Najee Harris stiff-armed the hell out of him. You guys did, but he was there to make a play and push him out of bounds.
But the NFL is a game of inches at the end of the day. Like, so
and if you go head up with Abram, who's winning that inch?
Shit, I ain't winning that inch.
Ask Christian McCaffrey. Ask Christian McCaffrey, Melvin Gordon. Who else is this man lit up, just like flying down? I mean,
but it's almost like it's almost like that he has to realize this, and he has to accept it, and like he needs to be a linebacker. He needs to be a linebacker. I don't know if he can do it with his body. You know, that might be asking a lot because it's not that easy. You know what I mean? To just if you're used to playing in a certain body type, and then you're just going into you're gonna add like how many pounds? I mean, he is a big dude overall, but like, a linebacker is another step as far as size. I don't know if it would, because what happens is sometimes if you add more weight, sometimes you can get hurt too, and you might lose your athletic ability too. Like you might be a little more stiffer. So it's just like, but that might be the right move for Abram. I feel like all the strengths that you're mentioning are strengths near the line of scrimmage, and I'm like, hey, why don't we just put him there exclusively? That's what I'm saying.
Man, he's a strong safety. I feel like we're forgetting, like, okay, he's a strong safety. Yeah, he's a strong safety. He's not a cut. He's like, you don't get it. I get he's a first-round pick, and he was drafted a little high, in my opinion. But it's like he's a strong safety. This dude smacks the hell out of people. The guy that usually smacks the hell out of people is not good in coverage. If they are, their name is Troy Polamalu, Ed Reed, Brian Dawkins. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like, it's like almost when you talk about when we talk about Abram, it's almost like you want your cake, you get your cake and eat it too type thing,
Yeah.
It's like, bro, he ain't gonna be great in coverage. He's around the line of scrimmage box safety, and I mean that's just how I see it. I'm like, bro,
if that's the case, if that's his attitude and that's the way like he's gonna look at it, then he's not gonna be a starter. He's probably gonna come in like certain situations, because they can't allow him to play like a lot of the snaps, because at the end of the day, it's a passing league. You know what I mean? Like, so he can he play. I'm not going to disagree with you when it comes to him, like his strengths near the line of scrimmage, but I'm just saying like that's not how the NFL's played the majority of the time. Like teams like to pass. Mm-hmm. It's a passing league. He can't cover tight ends as well. Like,
and this is where I'm gonna come back with who can cover tight ends. Show me. Someone name somebody that can cover tight ends to me right now. Somebody in the chat. And then I'll even go this far. Who can cover tight ends on this football team?
We probably don't have a guy that can cover tight ends.
Who can you say definitively right now can cover tight ends?
We don't have a guy.
And
we barely have a guy that can cover a receiver.
Exactly. And we're hounded on a strong safety about coverage.
Hey, we got to get better.
To me, that's almost like hounding on a cornerback because he's not a good tackler. But he's great in coverage. I'm like, bro. Like, we have to – for me, it's almost like, bro, we have to give and take. Like, there's somewhere we have to give and take. Like, you have to compromise with football players. Every football player is not going to be all-around sound guy, 100%. You know what I mean? And to me, no, you can't do that. See, I knew people was going to do this. Diablo. Really?
I like Diablo.
I'm gonna have to see.
I like Diablo.
I'm not saying if I like Diablo or not. I'm gonna have to see the tape to where Diablo is out there shutting down tight ends. I'm gonna have to see
I don't know if you can completely shut down.
Hold on. He was a single high safety though. He just converted into a linebacker.
Yeah.
So we're talking about a safety at this point. We're talking about a free safety. that was converted to a linebacker.
Well, he a
And we're
linebacker at
using
this
him
point.
as an example that can cover. So even there.
Yeah. No, I get you, but I'm just. We can get into all that. I mean, you can make a point about who can cover a tight end and all that type of stuff. You know, it's kind of really hard to stop someone one-on-one in the NFL, like just with all the rules and everything. But can you at least like slow them down? Can you win sometimes? You know what I mean? So the way I look at it, Abram is not winning at all. It's almost like an automatic. Like if it's past like the first 10 yards, it's like, damn, he's lost. He lost with the sauce, bro. Like he I don't know. He not doing it
I
for
hear
me.
you.
He ain't
I
doing it
hear
for me.
you.
But I get you. I'm not saying give up on Abram. I'm saying like, hey, look, like if the coaching staff says, hey, make that change, and he doesn't want to make that change, and I'm saying that they might look at him to trade him, to move him, or cut him.
Yeah. See, I want to be mad. The thing is, I don't think it's so much saying like, oh, we have to keep him no matter what, no matter what. I just think he's just getting shit on a little bit more than I think he should. I'm like, me personally, I'm like, that's just me though.
We'll see how the coaching staff views Abram. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how they attack free agency. We'll see the pickups. We'll see the draft. Because sometimes when you see some of the pickups, it kind of tells you a lot about how they feel about the roster. So, like for example, like all these rumors that we're hearing about receivers and corners, that's telling us like they feel like we need to upgrade at those positions.
Yeah.
So we'll see if they attack safety as well, which I think they are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Matthews and all these rumors and all that type of shit. So we'll see.
And that's what was kind of saying earlier is like, I wouldn't mind getting Tyrone Mathieu. I like Tyrone Mathieu, right?
Yeah.
But he's a completely different kind of safety than Abram. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's almost like when we start talking about, oh, Abram can't cover, it's like, man, he's not that kind of safety. Like he shouldn't even be in coverage.
Yeah.
So it's almost like this. We need a different linebacker besides Denzel Perryman because Denzel Perryman can't cover, but it's like he's great at the run defense. He's great at getting to the tackle. He's good at getting to a spot and making a tackle. He's not great in coverage. And that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, does that mean Denzel Perryman is a bad football player or a bad linebacker? No. But he is a liability in coverage because he was getting burnt all year.
It's true.
So that's kind of where I'm at with Abram. And it's like we never even said Abram is our guy that's supposed to be doing coverage. Like we all say, like, we shouldn't have him that deep. And you said it that at that point, once he gets past 5 to 10 yards, it's like, bro, you're gonna lose. And then at that point, it's like, why would the coach put him in that position? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Would you put Denzel Perryman in that position? No. So it's almost like, to me, it's just that give and take. It's that give and take for me.
Yeah.
Every player is going to have an upside, downside, and his downside, he's not that great in coverage, but he's a great player, great player to have on the team. For me personally, I love Abram.
And he was taken in the first round. It's crazy.
That's too high.
What round would you have took him? A player like that, that's great against the run, that's an enforcer, but his coverage skills are lacking. What round would you take a player like that in the draft? Like where you knew automatically, just looking at the tape, you just looking
like
at
third
round,
third, fourth.
Damn, we took him in the first round.
Yeah, third, fourth. You know, it's kind of like with Jacobs, Josh Jacobs. We took him in the first round, and bro, he's like a third round back to me.
I don't want to say that it's worse. But damn, like if you think about it, we took a running back that literally he gets hurt every year.
Well,
he's not a threat to like take it to the house. You know what I mean? He's a good solid player. It's just like, damn, like it's all about value at the end of the day. Like think about what we could have got at that spot, you know?
Yeah. I guess it's the latest. 3 years, 22.8, 12.7 fully guaranteed. Dolphins and wide receiver Cedric Wilson Jr. closing on a 3-year contract.
Okay.
3 years.
He's a cool player. He's a solid player.
He's a cool number 3, I feel like.
Yeah, like
definitely a cool number 3.
Little speedy slot.
Definitely a cool number 3. Randy Savage says Jacobs is nice. Jacobs is cool.
He's nice. I'm not shitting on Jacobs 100%. It's like, but it's just that we took him in the first round,
Yeah.
and it's like, damn, bro, like literally, like this draft, especially, there's a lot of running backs, and we can get a good running back literally in the fourth round, fifth round.
I like James Cook.
Isn't that what's his name's brother?
Yeah, Dalvin Cook's brother. But
Yeah.
the Georgia back, James Cook, I like him, man. He's not fast, but he can make people miss. He seems real smart and patient. I like that. And you would be able to get him way later. You wouldn't have to draft him in the first.
Yes,
Dumbass Gruden. I didn't like Gruden, bro. I didn't like Gruden, bro. I was not a Gruden fan. I was
it's crazy. I obviously I grew up a Raider fan, and my image of Gruden was always like golden. Like, damn, Gruden was our last great head coach.
Yeah.
He just had the look of a head coach, that presence, like, but experiencing Gruden now, like, it's like, damn, like it's crazy to think about, because it's like, damn, this dude, he's emotional, he got a huge ego. The staff that he put around him, like, damn, like, it's terrible. Like, if you just think about the staff, like, you think about Tom Cable, you think about Greg Olsen. Man, it's so crazy because and I think about it now, because now, like, it's hindsight's 2020, because now we're looking at our staff now, like, we're thinking about McDaniels, we're looking at his background, we're looking at Patrick Graham, we're looking at all these up and coming guys, we're looking at Rob Ryan, you know what I mean? And he's an assistant to the assistant to the assistant. Rob Ryan ain't even like a huge but he's in that coaching staff, which is huge. You know what I mean? He got all that experience. And then we got that Simmons guy from the Panthers that a lot of people are high on. You know what I'm saying? That's coaching up the secondary. It's like, I've never like thought about, I never like went into the offseason being hyped up about our coaching staff. That's never happened. That's never happened. Usually around this time, I'm like, maybe this year might be a little bit different. They just need to get the right players and all that type of shit. I'm just trying to, like, lie to myself, basically.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I hear you trying to be optimistic and stuff like that. Because I know the optimistic take last year, or not last year, but with the last regime was like, you got Tom Cable, he was a head coach before. Gus Bradley was a head coach before. John Gruden, and then you have Rod Marinelli was a head coach before. So you have all these guys that have been head coaches and they have all this experience. But I feel like it was almost just like too old. That's what I would say. Like, this is the old, like this is the past almost. You know what I mean? You're picking up guys that are great, yes, but this is the past. And I feel like with this new one, it's like, yeah, we got some guys that, you know what I mean? These are some younger dudes. Like, look at Ziegler. Dude looks young as hell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You get Josh McDaniels, another young dude. Our freaking Champ. Look at him. Another young dude. You just keep going down the line. Our offensive coordinator, Mick.
Yeah, we got Champ Kelly. Literally, this dude was getting interviews for GM jobs, and we got him as an assistant. Just think about it. That just adds to the room. It just adds to the room, like, ideas, even and not just ideas, connections too. Because guys like Eddie Goldman, like, that just got released, I bet you Champ Kelly knows him. He knows a lot about him. He knows his whole skill set. He knows what type of contract they should be offering him. Like, he's like, hey, we can. I'm just keeping it real.
Yeah.
Hey, Cashflow Raider, man, this dude got jokes for days, bro.
Cashflow Raider, crazy, man. He crazy, man. Yeah, Bridgewater, 1-year deal to the Dolphins to be the backup for Tua Tagovailoa. So that's interesting. Teddy Bridgewater, backup to the Dolphins. Tua.
That's a solid pickup. I like him.
Yeah,
I like
definitely.
at this point, you know what I mean? I think Bridgewater is just he's a good backup QB. And I don't know if this is a hot take, but that's how I feel about Jimmy G. I think he's a backup QB too. But someone's going to get hyped up and be like, oh, I'm going to get Jimmy G, because, teams get desperate. When you don't have a top 15 quarterback, teams get desperate. They'll go for, like, look at the Steelers. They signed Mitch Trubisky to be the starter today. They literally Mitch Trubisky.
That's how you know Carr ain't going nowhere. Because that's how you know you ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, it is what
that's
it is.
Wild. But Mitch Trubisky, I don't know about him, man. He could be cool. He could definitely be serviceable. I think Jimmy G's a good quarterback. For his own in his own way. That boy just has a terrible arm. He just has a terrible arm.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, he just knows how to muster up a win, bro. I don't know what it is. He just knows how to muster up and win. And certain guys, I don't know what it is, know how to muster up and win. They just do. They just do. They might not have the most talent. They might be able to, you know what I mean? You say he's a weak-ass quarterback, but they know how to muster up a win somehow, bro. Because let's face it, bro. Jimmy G is a quarterback that's not even top 10, probably not even top 15, but yet making it a lot further than prime elite quarterbacks. You know, Justin Herbert, let's use Golden Boy for an example. If Justin Herbert's so goddamn great, how the hell Jimmy G out here just freaking flaming it through the playoffs, man? Like, come on.
Okay, let me. The reason why
Beating
I'm
Rodgers?
saying you say that again.
Didn't they beat Rodgers?
Yeah, but no, and let me speak to it then. What I'm saying is the reason why I think Jimmy G is ass. Like I'm talking about ass. Like I'm talking about like he's not that bad at QB. I'm just comparing him to starters around the league, and I'm like, would I be excited if he was the quarterback of the Raiders? Would I be excited if he was a quarterback of whoever? No, I wouldn't, because think about what he had with the Niners. He had everything.
Mm-hmm.
He had everything. You know what I mean? He had one of the best. He had one of the best offensive minds at head coach. Think about it. Matt Ryan had an MVP year with Kyle Shanahan as OC.
I would argue they don't have any continuity on offense, man, and they don't have any weapons.
They have one of the best O-lines in the league. One of the best running teams in the league. They have one of the best tight ends in the league. And then you got that boy receiver. Everybody's trying to get another one of Debo Samuels. You know what I mean? And that defense is legit, bro. That's what, top five, top 3. Now, if you told me Carr had that and we were struggling, I'd be the first one. We need to get the Carr, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
But
100%.
Because what happens is when you have all of that, as a supporting cast, that means as a quarterback, you only have to do your job.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do is do your job. And it seems like Jimmy G struggled to do that. And I'm not trying to make this a 49er show, but like I just feel like Jimmy G is just like so overrated. It's crazy. Like I don't know who's going to
he says no weapons. And the reason I say no weapons is because if you can only name Kittle and Debo, those aren't enough weapons. I'm sorry. If you can only name 2 players, that's not enough weapons. Because personally, I say Carr don't have weapons. And if I were to say Renfro and Waller, that's not weapons to me. You feel me? Like that's just me personally. I don't think they have weapons on offense. Like, think about it. Debo, okay, he has to play wide receiver and running back. Think about that. This man has to play 2 positions because they can't keep a consistent running back. Trey Sermon went out. Raheem Mostert went out. They do have a great O-line. I give them that. But what about the receivers? All bust. Think about it. Brandon Ayuk ain't really do nothing. What's the other kid's name? I forgot. Dante Pettis. He ended up not doing anything. Who they have? Kendrick Bourne before that. I mean, they don't really have that many weapons, in my opinion, bro. And that's just me. That's just me. They have a good O-line, though. They do have a great O-line. And they do have a great defense. But
their offense is built differently. It doesn't matter. To be honest with you, it doesn't even matter who runs the ball. It's almost like Denver back in the day. I don't know if you guys remember Denver with Mike Shanahan, his pops. It seems like they could put any running back there and they're going to get like 100 yards.
Yeah.
Because some of these running backs that get 100 yards with the 49ers, I'm like, who the hell is this? Where is this guy come from?
Yeah.
And then now they're like putting a receiver and having him run like, you know, hey, Debo Samuels is a good receiver. I think Brandon Ayuk, he kind of stepped up this year. You know what I mean? But my point is that like he's a backup QB. That's all I gotta say, man.
I'm not gonna continue this debate about Jimmy G.
He's a backup QB.
I don't even like Jimmy G. You know what I mean? I was just saying I think he's decent. I just think he's decent. That's it.
QB.
I don't like him though.
I would trade maybe a 7th round pick from some 5th round.
I wouldn't trade for Jimmy G. I just wouldn't do it at all.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it at all. It's just crazy. I'd rather just draft a young QB.
Boom. And what did I say my last couple of lives? Because I'm about to go on a goddamn rant right now. Y'all about to hear me pissed off, right? Ian Rappaport sources: the Chargers are expected to sign former Patriots star cornerback J.C. Jackson to a big money deal. And what did I say my past 2 lives? or I mean my past. I mean since his last whatever. JC Raider for life says JC signed with JC. Shout out Raider, yo. That boy got a little brain fart right there. But what I say, don't let these motherfuckers get JC Jackson. What do
Damn,
we do?
that's a tough one.
We let them get Khalil Mack. We let them get JC Jackson. What next? We're gonna let them go get Jordan Davis next.
Yeah, that's a
While
tough one.
while we sit on our hands.
Yeah. That's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. Because I wanted the Raiders to pick him up. I'm not going to lie. I didn't think it was going to be possible. And then I start hearing rumors that, they could possibly pick him up. But the Chargers, see, the reason why the Chargers could get him is because they don't have a lot of needs. So they can go all out. And the Raiders have to keep in mind that they have other needs. So it's like they can only do so much on the negotiation table. And technically, we have more cap space because I think we have like about 31 to 34 mil. And like the Chargers have about like 21 million or whatever. But all that shit could be manipulated because they think about it. If you don't have a lot of needs, then you can go all out on one position like a corner, and then have the rest of your money can go to role players because the Chargers are already talented. They're already a talented team. Like they don't got a lot of holes like that. Yeah, you know what I mean. So
you got a Charger fan in here. He says Eddie Rendon says y'all can have Balaga.
Hey, they talking they shit in here, huh?
No, that's funny though. That's actually funny because we need him. Send him over here. Non-play. Get John Simpson out of here. No, bro, this is turning out to be horrible. No, I hear you, man. I hear you. Look, I'm gonna turn this into a positive somehow, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because it's about to be a damn Herbert Derek Carr debate again. Because is this what it takes for Herbert to win? Is this what it takes for Golden Boy to win? Is that they have to get Khalil Mack and J.C. Jackson, an elite offensive line, two wide receivers that make $20 million, Austin Eckler, Derwin James, like, bruh, give me a fucking break.
To be
I'm
honest,
not trying to hear this argument no more. I ain't trying to hear this shit.
To be honest with you, this is what good teams do. You have a young QB, and you surround them with talent. And like you said in the past, Raid, like you want a young QB to come into a situation where there's talent around him, so he can develop the right way. And I can't hate on the Chargers for putting talent around Herbert because this is the best time to do it. He's not taking up a lot of that cap space with his contract. He's still on a rookie deal. So this is the best time to get as much players at other positions as possible. That's why, like, shout out to the Chargers. As much as we don't give a fuck about them, but
hold that thought real quick, bro. They're right here. Chargers giving former Patriots cornerback Jackson 5-year, $82 million deal that invoices $40 million guaranteed.
That's it. We could have gave him that.
So 15, what is that? 15 to 16 a year? Someone correct my math. What is that, like 15, 16 a year? I'm just doing it off the top of my head. Don't start judging me. Don't start judging me. I think he came in, came out. I'm going to bring Farrell back up in a little bit, but about 16. He doesn't want Ed. He says he doesn't want you. Hell no, he don't want us. 16? What did I tell y'all, man? What the hell did I tell y'all about this? What did I Woo! And it's almost like, I don't know what it is. It's almost like it's just a Raider thing. Either he didn't want to come here, he didn't want to be here, or I don't know. I don't know, man. Honestly, I don't know. That's wild. That's wild. Let's see if Farrell pulls back up. But Mike Moore said, "Did the Raiders forget it's the start of free agency?" I guess so, man. I guess so. That's wild. Castro says, "Until he signs, I'll believe it." Yeah, bro. Man, we ain't moving at all, bro. Like, what's going on? Nobody wants to sign with us with our reputation. Yeah, Chargers about to sign him. I thought the thing was that we're supposed to have a connection. I thought we were supposed to have a connection because Ziegler is from fucking New England. What's the whole point of getting these dudes if we don't even can't even get the benefit of the doubt of getting the damn players they hired? How do we not have the leverage in that? And he goes to a division rival.
Yeah,
that's wild.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
And you know, I was about to say that. I was like, look, I'm not the fucking GM, bro. I'm not. JC Jackson go out there and could play completely different football and not be the same as he was in New England. So who knows? Maybe Ziegler knows something we don't know. You know what I mean? So,
and another thing too, we gotta mention is that we probably offered him a contract. We probably gave him that deal, and he just chose the Chargers. That is possible too. At the end of the day,
he was probably like, I'd rather go play with Mack and Bosa and Derwin James than go play with Yannick, Max, and Mirin and Mullen.
Yeah,
I guess
that's possible too. And hey,
and like Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen and Mike Williams,
right? And at the end of the day, like you said, Dave Z knows. He knows what he can, he can't do. He knows the needs on the team, and he comes from the Patriots too. And guess what? The Patriots didn't offer him a contract. They didn't even offer him a contract.
And that's the Patriots, though, man. Like, you know how they be.
But where does Dave Z come from?
He comes from over there.
Exactly. That's my point. So then he probably was like, let me make an attempt. But if it's something that's over than what I want to pay, I'm not going to pay you. Because it seems
I hear you. I hear you. I definitely hear you. But I mean,
because it seems like he's a hard negotiator. Because look at that Max deal. That Max deal was a great contract for us. Great contract. And Max had all the leverage too. He could have been like, nah, I want more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Like I said, it takes two to tango.
Brian says Raiders are finished. Sadly, Carr is just not it. It's crazy how our division teams get defensive players, and then people be like, yeah, it's over. Carr ain't it. Like, what? How does it turn into that? That's wild. Alex Pearson. At this point, it feels like we are angling for a rebuild. We are doing nothing right now. Let's just pump the brakes. Let's just pump the brakes, right?
Hey man, just hold on.
Let's just pump the brakes, right? Let's get it right, Farrell.
Yeah.
Let's get it right real quick. The Chargers get Mack. The Chargers potentially are getting J.C. Jackson, right? Potentially. See if there's any more updates. Let's refresh real quick before we move on. Here it just says Chargers are giving former Patriots. Okay. So it's what we already knew. Let's pump our brakes though. Mack, Bosa, Derwin James, J.C. Jackson are all pretty much getting paid, right? So they're trying to go in right now before Justin Herbert's contract extension is going to come up, which is next year, or not this coming year, but you know what I mean? After this year, they have to give him an extension, right? So they're trying to push right now. They're definitely trying to push before they have to sign Herbert to a long-term extension. And it's interesting because, Staley comes from that Los Angeles Rams, so it seems like he's taking some of the moves from them. So, and I see some people talking about J.C. Jackson's contract, how it looks like it's front-loaded $28 million this year. $28 million this year. But they're trying to push right now because Justin Herbert, let's not make any mistake, man. Right? Justin Herbert has to get signed, and when it's time for him to get signed, he gonna get the bag. He gonna get that bag, right? A lot of these players, Mac will probably be gone by then, bro. If not, he'll probably be on, he'll probably be on a different team. I don't know, but I think that's what they're pushing, bro. And if they fail ultimately, it's gonna be tough for them. It's gonna be tough for them. It's gonna be tough. Keenan Allen would be gone, I'm sure. They're gonna have a lot of stuff to be retooling there. So I'm not worried about the Chargers. I'm not worried. Now that I think about it, I'm not worried, man. I'm not worried. I'm not worried at all. Hellman says it's always Carr's fault. Yeah, man. The only thing I would say though is we need a receiver. We just need to do what we already knew. We just need to do what we already knew. Okay, if we could do what we did last year with Zay Jones and Brian Edwards, Brandon Parker, John Simpson, it's not like we weren't playing good football teams here, right? It's not so. Come on now. I know it's a tough division, but we gonna surprise some people. You're muted, brother. I think you're muted.
Yeah, I was saying that in my opinion, I think that strategically speaking, if you look at like our division, we know KC is the truth on offense. That's their bread and butter. That's what makes them a great team is that offense, Andy Reid. And then you got Denver. They just picked up Russell Wilson. They got a lot of talent on defense. Offensively, they got some pieces too as well. But I'm going to say their defense is what makes them great. I'm going to say that's – and then obviously they got Russell Wilson now. And then with the Chargers, that defense is what they have like their talent on defense is crazy. And then obviously on offense, they have pieces there with Herbert and Allen and Mike Williams. So it kind of complements each other. With us, I think that we're closer on offense to being an elite offense than on defense. So in my mind, strategically speaking, I think we gotta make moves to get to that elite spot on offense, and then make smart decisions on defense. Because we can't, at the end of the day, we can't solve all our issues in one. It's sad. John Gruden and Mike Mayock and company, they did what they did, and they left us with holes on our team. They did some good things.
Yeah,
we got some players, but we got some holes, and we can't solve them in one off season. So and strategically speaking, I feel like if we're trying to win now and we're trying to be competitive, I feel like we got to go all in on offense and then make smart decisions on defense. In my mind, I just think that
when you say all in on offense, right? What does that entail? What does that mean? Does that mean this free agency you're going to go get Devontae Adams, everything you could do to get Devontae Adams?
Not Devontae Adams, because we don't have to get Devontae Adams to be elite on offense.
Cool. So what wide receiver do you think will solidify our wide receiver core?
Allen Robinson. That's one.
Okay.
That's the only proven number one receiver left.
That's the only one I think
in free agency, period.
Yeah.
Or we can go DJ Shark. And most likely they're going to get, solid, good contracts, which I have no problem doing because you got to do what you got to do. And then I would get another role player at receiver, or hear me out on this one, a tight end on a 1-year deal. And the tight end that I'm referring to is O.J. Howard on a cheap deal. I'm not saying give this dude a big contract.
Yeah, I hear you. O.J. Howard is definitely a solid. Couldn't be a solid piece
because he's a talented tight end, big tight end.
Can he still run though?
That's why I say
I don't know. That's why I said a
1-year deal
anymore. I feel like he was hurt or something like that. Something happened.
You think? Well, the thing is with Tampa Bay, they had so many tight ends. It was him. It was Gronkowski. It was like another.
Still there?
Keller Bray, you know what I mean? It was like so many different tight ends. It's like he couldn't really get run. He didn't get the opportunity.
Oh.
And Tampa Bay was all about getting the pieces that Tom Brady was comfortable with. And it was Gronkowski and whoever clicked with Tom Brady, that's who was going to get the ball.
You said, bro, talking about O.J. Howard. Like, come on, what is this?
Yeah, I'm not. I wasn't done. I wasn't done.
Oh man, so he wasn't even. Yeah, that was like the last of the. That was like the last of the list.
Yeah, So we attack free agency. We get receivers. Obviously, we gotta upgrade that right tackle position in free agency. And then I just threw in OJ Howard because it was in the top of my mind. I was like, hey, like that's a little luxury pick, but hey, like I'm going all in on offense. And then the draft, obviously, we're gonna have to get some pieces on offense. I would say in the draft, that's where you kind of like fill in some of the defensive holes.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we.
He was talking about the the other lower end guys.
Yeah, no, it's no state tax. It's no state tax in Nevada.
You like OJ over? Hell yeah.
What the hell? It's not that OJ Howard is like a great player. It's just an upside. It's like, okay, fuck it. Why don't why don't you take a little gamble for like a vet minimum, whatever cheap deal? Like I'm not saying we're gonna give him a contract.
He's still young though. I don't know. I think he's still young though. Isn't he like 25?
Exactly. And we know what McDaniels does with tight ends. We know what he does. So it doesn't have to be OJ Howard.
But we need Allen Robinson at the end of the day. Like,
we do.
Like, this at the end of the day, we're talking about our division. And SoCal Slime says now for Jordan Davis. And look, I applaud the Chargers because this is exactly what I was afraid of. I said you cannot allow the Chargers to get J.C. Jackson and Jordan Davis this offseason. Now, apparently, it looks like they might get Mac. They got Mac and J.C. Jackson. Now, if they go get Jordan Davis, it's like, okay, it's looking wild, right?
Yeah.
But that's the Chargers. Element Pro says we need like 5 guys, bro, 7 or 8 tops. I hear you, man.
Yeah.
He's 27. OJ just never healthy. Exactly. Yeah. That's what I was saying. I feel like
I agree. I'm not gonna argue with you guys. And I'm not a GM. I'm not a GM at the end of the day, but you guys can understand my logic here. We're closer on offense than defense.
Yeah.
So I'm saying like,
hold on. You think we're closer on offense than defense?
I think we're closer on offense than defense.
I don't think that at all. Man. I'll be honest. I don't think that at all. Why do you say that?
I'm thinking of Waller. I'm thinking of Renfro. I'm thinking of Jacobs. I'm thinking of Drake. I'm thinking of those pieces because don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. Our offense was definitely underperforming last year, but why was it underperforming? Let's ask that question. Why was it underperforming? We can point to the O-line. But also I think one of the biggest.
Hold that thought real quick. The Bucs are bringing back one of their own. Carlton Davis is expected to re-sign with Tampa, source said, as they retain part of their core. What was I just saying about this shit earlier? About taking the fucking cream of the crop. Take the goddamn guy. You take the best guy available. Now look, who's available next? Who's the next best available corner to go get?
Gilmore.
Please tell me.
Gilmore. Just go get Gilmore.
This is fucking Casey Hayward all over again, bro. This is I just said this shit 30 minutes ago. That this is exact, bruh. I could rewind this shit and watch myself like I was telling the fucking future.
Yeah.
We end up with Casey Hayward of this year.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't fucking just go get the top guy. Just go get the guy. That's all we had to do. Just get the number one guy, get the top guy. And now look, we end up with what? Gilmore? If we even get Gilmore.
And this has happened before too. This has happened before. If you remember we tried to get Byron Jones.
Yeah.
And we missed out on him.
Yeah.
And it's just the same thing. So
I definitely agree. We missed out on Byron Jones. I think me personally, I think this is different because J.C. Jackson for me is better corner than Byron Jones. 2, I think we need a corner now more than we needed one then. I could probably be wrong about that. But I think with Mullen, with his contract coming up, this is Mullen's last year, correct?
Yep.
This is Mullen's last year on his contract. I mean, what do we have? Amik Robertson?
Amik Robinson, Mullen. We got Nick Hobbs. We got Hobbs. We got
Nate Hobbs, our slot guy. I mean,
yeah. We don't got a lot of people.
Come on, man. Just go get the freaking guy. Just go fill the needs. That's all you have to do. Just go fill the need. And I didn't even want Carlton Davis. But the fact that it's boom, J.C. Jackson goes to our division rival.
Yeah.
The guy we traded away for our first round picks, we end up getting Cleveland Farrell and freaking somebody else. Didn't even pan out. Now the Chargers went and got Mac for some backdoor trade. Like, bro, come on, man. Yeah. Like, let's get real here, man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's, you know, Hey, a free agency is not a guarantee. The draft is not a guarantee. So you got to make adjustments. This is where you got to make adjustments. Okay, the top.
This is the thing. I'm not saying get Casey. I'm saying Gilmore would be the Casey Hayward of this year. And I wouldn't be mad if we got Gilmore and he came in and he produced. I wouldn't be mad at that. But my thing is, we'd be back at square one.
Yeah.
With even worse, because Mullen will be gone. Or what, we gonna sign Mullen and then draft the corner? Like, bro, I don't know, man. I'm like, bro, we could have just solidified one spot and then went and filled and got role players the rest of the free agents.
So what's gonna happen is this is what's gonna happen. See, this is why I said that the free agency is gonna set up the draft. So think about it. If we get a bunch of role players in free agency at corner, guess what? That makes corner a top position of need going into the draft. So like a guy like Elam might be the guy right there. Or if a guy drops, like a Stingley drops or whoever, or whatever the top corner is that's on the board, might be the guy at number 22. You know what I'm saying? So who knows? Who knows? But it's still early, bro. It's still early. You know what I mean? I know Raider fans, we wanted to get J.C. Jackson, but
it is what it is, man. I just think it's the fact that he goes to a division rival.
Yeah.
And then the second option also just re-signed. Like, it's just like, bro, what?
Yeah.
Like, where? I don't know. I'm not really that upset. I'm just kind of hyped about it. Like, I'm just hyped about it. That's it. AJ Simpson says, go ahead. What?
No, I was just saying, I feel a lot better if once we start signing people. You know what I mean?
I'm not even tripping on signing nobody now. I don't even want nobody.
You want a corner? You're a corner, brother. Like you want a corner because you a corner, and I get it.
That's not even it, man.
And corner is one of your needs. But I get you. I'm just
messing with you. Because honestly, at this point, I feel like who else would we get? DJ Chark or Allen Robinson would be like the only splash. But I feel like they're not even a splash. Like, is getting DJ Chark really a splash? Not really. That's almost taking it. We're really taking the flyer out on the DJ Chark, in my opinion. You're really taking the flyer. I like DJ Chark. He was on my free agency wish list, but he's more of a flyer guy. He's not more of a guy you bring in and you're like, he's going to be good. I'm not really going to 9 out of 10. I expect a 9 out of 10 results from this dude. Like, you know what I mean? Health, skill-wise, production-wise, you know what I mean? All that. With DJ Chark, it's kind of like, it's like a 6 out of 10 because he can get hurt. You know what I mean? He's not an all-around wide receiver.
That's almost every free agent. Almost every free agent comes with a red flag. But with DJ Chark, to me, I feel like he has a high ceiling and he has a high floor. His floor is basically a deep threat. That's exactly what this offense needs.
But it's DJ Chark, your wide receiver one.
But the thing is that I understand what you're saying. But if we get a deep threat in free agency, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at
that's the thing.
Because we're going into a draft that's stacked.
I know. I like Chark. I don't think you understand what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you get J.C. Jackson, is he a CB1?
Yeah, for sure. Number one.
If you get J.C. Jackson, is he a CB1?
Yeah.
If you get DJ Chark, is he a wide receiver one?
No.
Exactly. And that's my point.
But he has potential to be number one.
Of free agency of like, you can get this guy, he will fulfill your starting need. He's your one. If you go get Chark, he has the potential to be a one. I don't think he is a one at all. I don't think he even will be.
I agree.
I think he's like a 1.5 or 2 because he has playmaker ability. Yeah. And we love playmaker ability. But just because you have playmaker ability doesn't mean you're a wide receiver one. And for me, that's why I'm with Chark. I love Chark. I would love to bring him in. He would be the greatest wide receiver too. But he's not a wide receiver one when you have a potential player that could be your one. That you missed out on.
And just to be clear, just to be clear to chat and Ray, my number one receiver is Allen Robinson.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the guy. But I'm just saying, are we going to get him? Is someone going to offer him some crazy ass $30 million a year type contract? Then I'm out. I'm like, I don't know. 28 years old, and what are you one of the best receivers in the league still? Like, I don't want to have that doubt. Like I would pay $30 million a year to Adams because I wouldn't have that doubt. Like at the end of the day, you're not going to have that doubt with Adams, but are you going to have that doubt with Robinson with a big contract? And he's coming off an injury. It's like, do you still got it? You still that dude? You know what I mean? Like we still gotta, even though he's the proven number one receiver in the market. I'm just saying, he is coming off an injury.
Yeah. EJ Ritter says JC the one I wanted to overpay. Look,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm saying. Like there's nobody else I'm willing to overpay in the free agency. And this is kind of I'm glad he worded it this way because I can agree with this and say, look, that was the only player I was willing to overpay. That's all I was saying. Carlton Davis, he didn't fit that for me. I wouldn't be willing to overpay him. I would have got him on a good deal, but I wouldn't overpay Carlton Davis. So I would do it for JC Jackson.
Would you be mad if you got DJ Chark and I'm looking at the chat, they Brandon Cooks in the trade, and we drafted a receiver like in the 3rd or 4th?
That would be fire. But the fact is that I'm a Raiders fan, and for that to happen, some great plan for that to happen is a fucking fallacy, is a fantasy.
Yeah, it's a fantasy because it's not.
Yeah, we're gonna trade for Cooks. Yep, we got Cooks, and then we're gonna go sign DJ Chark. Okay, man, this shit ain't gonna happen, bro. Yeah. And what did I say earlier? I said, look, these are the guys I want. And what did I say? That means we're not gonna get them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. There's only been one time, bro, and it was literally last year when we got Mirrored. That's the only time we ever got a player I wanted was Mirrored. I want Mirrored. Boom, we got him in the second. Only fucking time, bro. Outside of that, you could literally be like, I want this guy. You could count us out, bro. You can count us out. We'll go get a Trent Brown or some shit. It's like, bro, what?
It's cool, man. Hey, free agent, like I said, free agency is not a guarantee. You know what I mean? Like we didn't have the most cap space in. We could have done it, but Dave Z must he must have a plan. He must have a plan. There's a reason why.
Mad at it.
There's a reason why he didn't come to the Raiders. There's a reason why we won't know probably until like months later. You know how shit comes out. You know what I mean? The reason why the Raiders didn't get this player is because of X, Y, and Z. Who knows? But yeah, I'm a little disappointed that we didn't get JC Jackson because he would have fit our need. He was he was probably the biggest guarantee in free agency.
Mm-hmm.
He was coming in healthy. His production, top player at the position. It is what it is. Chargers, they got a good player, and the Bucks got the next best corner.
Yeah, they got the next best corner for a 3-year deal worth $45 million with $30 million guaranteed. So he'll be a $15 million corner.
Yeah.
Carlton Davis.
Yep.
And this is what I was talking about earlier when we were just talking about how much they would cost as far as the cap hit, is that I wouldn't have wanted to sign Carlton Davis for 15 if we could have got JC Jackson for 17. I would have just paid JC Jackson the extra 2 every year. You see what I'm saying? This is kind of what I was saying earlier. The only difference there is that one's getting 17 a year and then the other one's getting 15 a year.
Yeah.
I think JC Jackson is a lot better than Carlton Davis, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. I would pay that difference. But it's like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I guess we're not trying to get a corner. Maybe we settle.
I think that they are trying, but
King?
It just didn't work. It just didn't work, bro.
You guys think we get a Kevin King?
I'm not excited about Kevin King. Kevin King ain't
What other corner would you want to bring in?
Gilmore. Gilmore would be a nice option.
Outside of Gilmore. I feel like
outside of Gilmore,
we're only saying Gilmore because of the Patriots. I feel like that's the only reason we say Gilmore. What else? Why else would we get Gilmore?
This might be a possibility. This might be a possibility, but James Bradbury, I've seen connections, rumors about him coming to the Raiders. I like that. I like a Bradbury. You know what I mean? And I know you would too, because he's a good player. Yeah. He played in Patrick Graham's defense, so I can see that happening too as well.
He can cover tight ends for sure.
There you go. So there's still options, man. It ain't the end of the world, but I feel you. I wanted JC Jackson. I'm with you. I wanted him. He was the number one guy for sure. It made a lot of sense. But
all right, Furl. All right, Nation. Look, we've been up here for a minute, man, and JC Jackson just went off the free agency board. Someone that we wanted. Who does that leave as the number one target for the Raiders in the 2022 free agency as of right now? Who's the number one target right now for the Raiders? Let me know in the chat who you guys' number one target is. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Subscribe here. Subscribe to Farrell NFL YouTube as well. Number one number one target right now for the Raiders in free agency? Who do you got, Farrell?
Right now, at this very
Yeah.
moment,
Yep.
it would have to be Allen Robinson.
Allen
Got to be
Robinson.
Allen Robinson. Like, that's the next dude. I'm like, damn, if we can get him, because all the other players, I feel like we can get them, but they're not like they would definitely fit a position of need. But I feel like he's the top player at the position. I feel like if we can get him, it would be huge for me, at least. Allen Robinson, yeah, I'm seeing that a lot of that in the chat for sure. I'll be hyped if we got Allen Robinson, because this dude never played with a good QB, never, and he's been productive. The only thing is that if we get Robinson, we need speed. We need to get a speed.
I feel like that's easy to get though.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's why I gotta agree with you on that one. Neek with the super chat, 49 super chat. Appreciate it, man. Thank you for the support, brother. He says, I'm kinda hot right now, but trust the process. I believe in this regime. I mean, we have no choice. I'll say one thing I'll say is we have no choice. Two, I'm there with you, Neek. I'm there with you, man. I agree with you, man. But Allen Robinson, I think, is the number one choice here. I think he just fits the mold of the kind of receiver Derek Carr is able to play with.
Yep.
And that right there alone, I think, supersedes a lot of the other options. And the fact that DJ Chark's game is based on him being fast, I think we could get a route runner out of Robinson and then just worry about the speed in DJ Chark, like a guy like DJ Chark in the draft. That's just how I feel. I feel like we can get a guy like DJ Chark in the draft instead of spending money on Chark. We can spend that on a true possession receiver and then just get that guy in the draft. Yep. And then you have Renfro on your slot. Boom, you got your wide receiver core done right there. Boom. Edwards will, you know what I mean? Will give Allen Robinson rest when need be. He'll be right behind Allen Robinson. I think that should help Edwards. He would be our number 4 receiver at that point.
Yeah.
And that's rightfully so. Allen Robinson, Brian Edwards should be our number 4 receiver, and I think that would be a great lineup.
Yep.
You would only have one rookie in your receiver core, and I like that idea. So hopefully we see something, man. But
yeah, it's still early. You know what I mean? We're gonna hear some news about the Raiders soon. I do like DJ Chark. I like that he's young, but you know, I got to be honest. At the end of the day, like at this point, A-Rob, Allen Robinson is the number 1 receiver. He is the true number 1. But I wouldn't be mad at DJ Chark. I wouldn't be mad at that. It's just that we would have to have a different plan with DJ Chark. We have to make sure we get another receiver on the other side. Then we have to get someone in the draft. Like you can't just say, "Oh, I'm gonna get this guy." Like with Allen Robinson, we can be more flexible with the receiver position because we got a number 1.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. We got a guaranteed number 1 receiver.
And you can and that's where I think you could go out and take a chance on a receiver in the draft.
Facts.
And that'll be it right there.
Yep.
You know, Chark is 25 years old. I know Chark's 25 years old. But at the same time, for me, I just don't see Chark being a wide receiver 1. I just don't. I don't see him as a wide receiver 1. I love Chark. He's the guy I wanted to go get.
He has potential. I'm not going to take that away from him. He is 25. He has potential to be number 1, but as of right now, yeah, he's not a number 1 receiver. We can't say that he's number 1.
I don't think he's going. I don't know. I think he'll be that guy that could be like right there to be a number 1, but he's just never considered. Because is Amari Cooper a number 1?
I think he's a high-end number 2.
I think that's what I would say Chark is. If Amari Cooper can't be a number 1, I cannot see Chark being a number 1. This is me personally.
We've seen Amari Cooper play, and like, I don't know, is Amari Cooper older than DJ Chark? I think he might be older. He's been around a little bit longer. I think Amari Cooper, we've seen him play, and it's like, man, the dude disappears a lot. He's soft. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I feel more comfortable with Amari Cooper with a number 1 receiver.
Yeah.
Or 2 number 2s. If we have 2 number 2s and then we got like a good tight end, a good slot receiver, you know what I mean? That's solid. You know, I ain't mad at that. Because that's what we had with Derek Carr with Michael Crabtree and Cooper. Because they're both number 2 receivers. They were not dominant number 1s. You know what I mean? But we made it work. You know what I'm saying? So
I agree. Definitely agree with that, man. For sure. People saying DeVille only wide receiver 1 in pass system was Randy Moss. Yep, I hear you on that.
But they tried to draft receivers. It's not like they were like, "Oh, this is the Patriot way." we just need slot receivers and tight ends. They actually tried to get outside receivers.
Mm-hmm.
It just didn't work out like that.
They just drafted bust.
Exactly.
So it's like people would say the Patriots way, or did the Patriots do this? And there's just like, well, they did draft 3 different receivers that were bust, or just 2? Because I know N'Keal Harry is a bust.
Yeah.
And they
give McDaniels an outside receiver and look at Randy Moss. He figured out ways to get him open. You know what I mean? He incorporated him in the offense, and
Yeah. Who's cheaper, Chark or Robinson? That's an interesting question, man, because I feel like Robinson has more production, but he's older. But he has the injury history. But it's like Chark has injury history, but he has flashes of big playability, and he's younger. It's
so
like,
I think,
which one would be cheaper?
I think Robinson will get the more year by like per year because he's more established. But I think Chark could get a longer contract.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that. I don't know how that would average out. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you get what I'm saying. When you're 25 years old, like 25, 26, like look at what's his face? Because you know what, it depends too. Because sometimes certain players, they like to bet on themselves. They either get a 4 or 5 year deal, or they're like, you know what, let me get a 2-3 year deal and I hit free agency again and get paid again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For me, I would say I think it just depends on how teams view them. And this is kind of this. It just goes into it really goes into the draft and free agency on how NFL teams view certain players, because these teams are just like us, right? We have different perspectives. A team could look at Allen Robinson like he's older, he has some injury history. I don't know if I really want to risk it with him and be like, but Chark, he got an injury, but he's young and he got big playability. We might cash out on him like someone did with Christian Kirk.
Yeah,
and pay him that. Did we think Christian Kirk was going to get paid that much? I could tell you definitively, no. I didn't think he was going to get that much. I thought him and Chark would get similar kind of numbers. Christian Kirk and DJ Chark, I feel like they'd get paid kind of in the same ballpark. I don't see Chark getting $20 million a year. So it's kind of hard to say. I could see Robinson getting 15 plus, but I could see Chark getting less than 15. But Christian Kirk getting 20, it's like, well, I'm way off because I thought Christian Kirk would have got 15 or less.
Yeah, that's what throws it off, man. Christian Kirk, man, this dude's a slot receiver. He's 5'11". Like he's not a bad player, but it's just he's a role player and he's getting 20. He's getting 20 mil. The
Chark injury prone as hell, and I kind of agree with that, man, because he was hurt every single year. Every year he's been in the league, I believe he's hurt every single year he's been in the league.
Yeah.
Someone could fact check that if they want to, but
let's see.
You said I missed another question, man. I ain't missed no. I know I ain't missed a super chat. They're gonna say you missed my question. It's like, bro, how many times have they clicked on Element Pro? You're gonna be like, bro, you missed my question. Like,
yeah.
He said, damn it, Ray, you missed my question. Let me see what this is. How I miss your question? Is this your question? This is literally what we talk about.
Who's cheaper? Yeah, we were talking about that.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what question he talking about. He want me to answer everything he say, I guess. Lionel says Jags overpriced big time. Yeah, 100% agree, man. But Ryan Percy with the drop down with the support, brother. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for the support, Ryan. Should have said something, man. Should have said something. Jags pay more for their players because it's Jayville. Yeah, I hear you, man.
Yeah.
But honestly, dude, I'm not mad. I'm not too mad at the Jags. I definitely think they overpaid Christian Kirk. But the fact that they keep Robinson, their tackle, right? Cam Robinson, they keep him.
Yeah.
They go get Sheriff, the best offensive lineman of
Did they get Sheriff? They got Sheriff too?
Yeah, I believe so, didn't they?
Hey, and it makes look, if you notice, if you guys are noticing and this is the argument with, and I don't want to make this about a Derek Carr, but this is the argument about having a rookie. It's not just the talent. Right. It's not just the talent of the rookie. It's also like you're going to get a rookie QB on a rookie deal, and it's going to be easier to put pieces around that rookie QB. And that's what the Jags have. They have a former number 1 pick over there, and they're making sure they put the right pieces. So they're going to spend. They're going to spend with Brandon Sheriff. They're going to franchise tag Cam Robinson. They're going to overpay for a Christian Kirk. You know what I'm saying? So it's easier for them to do that. But with our team, we got to be more. We got to have a little more finesse. We got to be able to move around more. We got to be more strategic.
Yeah, 100%, man. Yeah, right here. Jags tagged offensive tackle Cam Robinson are expected to sign offensive guard Brandon Sheriff. Thanks. Someone ringing my doorbell, man. I'll be right back. Let me check my cameras real quick.
It's all good. It's all good. But what we talking about? Let's see. MZ, why are we tripping anyways? Not wise. Make stupid flash moves to keep up with other teams. Play it smart in a few years, and they'll have no cap and old over the hill has-beens. Over the hill has-beens. Look, I agree, man. I mean, I think at the end of the day, Dave Z, he's coming into free agency and the offseason in general. He has a plan, and he's going to follow through. And that's why we didn't get a guy like J.C. Jackson. I think we could have got him, but it's just it just didn't fit. You know what I mean? He might have offered him a deal, and it went over than what he wanted to pay. So that's pretty much how I feel about that. I feel like at the end of the day, they have a plan, and they're not going to go outside of it because our needs didn't change. Our needs and our wants, everything that we have on this team, the talent, that it didn't change. Just because other teams upgraded, it doesn't change that we need players at certain positions. So I agree with you on that. LNM Pro, no up higher than that one. I said, what has Robinson done to be a number one receiver? Tell me that, and I'll okay. Man, A-Rob, man, the dude's been productive. I feel like the dude has been consistent. If you look at his numbers, especially I'm gonna pull this up real quick. Is that like the dude has been productive with like no name quarterbacks. Like if you think about it, think about the QBs that he had. He had, let's see. Let's look at it.
Y'all finna get an exclusive. Ooh, y'all finna get an exclusive.
Oh, that's nice. I like that.
Y'all getting an exclusive. Yo, ladies and gentlemen, y'all getting an exclusive.
That.
The doorbell I didn't even expect it, yo. Check it out. Y'all getting a first look, bro. Not to break up what y'all saying, man. Look. For those who don't know, I got a clothing brand, you know what I mean? I'm starting, it's called Redemption, but exclusive look, bro. I just got the fresh sample in, bro. Y'all taking a backstage. Boom, Redemption logo on the front nice. with the silver trim, got the tan with the Pillage series.
I think this one might be my favorite hat, to be honest.
Pillage series 3, it has a 3X championship underneath. I don't know if y'all can see that. I just got it. Shit, I'm reviewing it with y'all right now. This is the sample. This is the only one. This is the sample. Got the Redemption logo on the inside. The Pillage series embroidery on the side. Woo! Boy, I'm excited. I'm excited, nice. Yo. Woo!
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. I like that. I actually like that one better than the other hats. I like how it pops. Yeah. I like how the black and the white pops. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna have to put that on ice. Y'all just got an exclusive though. This is the other joint right here. Yeah. This is just with the Redemption or on it. But
and you know what I like about it too, at the end of the day, like you got to go to these games, you got to be prepared to dress accordingly.
Yeah.
To root for your team, man. And I know that it's not a Raider brand, but it's a team, it's a brand that literally matches the colors, which I like.
It derives from the Raider culture, man. This is what Redemption brand is. This Redemption is like the Raiders always got dudes that needed to redeem themselves.
Yes, sir.
Think about Max Crosby. 2-year sobriety, had to go to rehab, the whole thing, had to redeem himself. Boom, just got a big old contract. It's a Redemption brand, man. It derives from Raider culture, but man, that was just a quick exclusive. I wanted to pop out and let y'all know. That was the door. I didn't even know that was coming. It wasn't supposed to be till next week.
Yeah,
I'm juiced. I'm gonna have to get some shit together, man. Oh shit! All right, y'all. Appreciate that, man.
But let me speak to LMNO Pro. I feel like I missed it.
Pro, man. Yeah, that's the guy.
He was asking. Basically, his question was what makes A-Rob a number one receiver? What makes him that guy? And I was making a point. I'm like, this dude has been consistently productive with quarterbacks that, you know what I mean, are no names. They're not established QBs. Like his best QB might have been Nick Foles, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That might have been. And Nick Foles is kind of an average QB. You know what I mean? He had that 1 year. Obviously, he went on a run, but for the most part, he's not that good of a QB. He's a backup. Yeah. I don't know if he's still in the NFL. He might be a backup somewhere. But I'm gonna pull up this stat real quick because last year he was hurt. Last year was one of the few years that he was hurt.
Let me
But
give a
before
shout out to SC real quick, man. Shout out SC for becoming a member. Make sure y'all go subscribe to him too, man. I know he be putting out content as well, man. Shout out SC and thank you for pulling up. But let me hear them numbers, bro, because I need to. You sound like you about to fish up some haymaker.
yeah, shout out to SC though. Go ahead and subscribe to that brother. But my thing is this: look, this dude from 2019 to 2020 has a total of 200 catches, 2,397 yards, and 13 touchdowns. What does that tell you? And I'm telling you that his QBs have been Mitch Trubisky, Nick Foles, Blake Bortles. Come on, man. Like at the end of the day, like give him a Derek Carr.
Yep.
We can all agree that Derek Carr is a good QB.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Top 15, top 12, top 10, whatever you want to put him.
Average or better.
Yeah, he's a good QB.
Yeah.
And if you combine those talents, a talent of Derek Carr with the talent of A-Rob, I think it's going to be a great pickup. So I feel like, yeah, he's a true number one receiver, no doubt about it. Like it's no doubt in my mind. But the only thing there, like just like every free agent, there are risks.
Yeah,
there are flags because he was hurt last year. He's 28 years old. He's getting a little older. So is this going to be a trend? You know what I mean? Everything is a risk. Everything at the end of the day is a risk. But you got to take educated risk at the end of the day. Like you got to be like, all right, I'm gonna take this educated gamble. You know what I mean? He's an established receiver. He's proven that he can be a productive receiver, and he's only 1 year removed from the numbers that I just showed you, that I just went over. Come on, bro. Come on, man. This dude's averaging like 100 catches a season, basically.
I agree with you, bro. I agree with you, and that just proves he's a wide receiver one. Because obviously, because I feel like when you go throughout a lot of quarterbacks, another thing I'll add to is when you go through a lot of quarterbacks, those new quarterbacks coming in is like, I know who I'm going to be throwing to when I need to. Like,
yes, sir.
Those quarterbacks register that. So they're chucking the ball at this man. Like, this is the only guy I got. This is definitely a guy. And for him to actually produce, make those catches, because it's not like the catches are on the numbers every time. You know, he has big playmaker ability. He's able to make some big-time catches. And I like Allen Robinson. And you think about it, it's like Michael Crabtree, we brought him in. It's not like he was some superstar coming in from the 49ers. But he came over here and he was doing hat tricks, bro. When's the last time we had a receiver do a hat trick? You know what I mean? I remember that game like it was yesterday. We were playing the Ravens. Carr was lighting their ass up, boy.
Man, that game, hey, that was like one of my favorite games, bro. Like that dude, that route that Crabtree did on, I forgot, was it Jimmy? Was it who was corner? It was like, was it Jimmy Smith?
No,
I forgot who was guarding.
You think
Jimmy
It wasn't him. It wasn't him.
But all I know, that route that he did, and he toe tapped too at the end, like he dragged that. Oh man,
bro, I'll be honest, that route was fire. That pass was fire. Everything. It was like, bro, how? Like that shit was perfect. It was like that much.
Yeah.
To fit it in between the defenders, like perfectly in the back of the end zone, and him to toe tap and beat his defender. It was like, is Michael Crabtree fast? No. He just beat his ass on a route. Bing, bow. Yeah. It was Jimmy Smith? Okay, I guess it was Jimmy Smith.
It was Jimmy
Smith. I thought he had
Smith.
dreads. I thought it was a corner that had dreads at that time. But I guess it was Jimmy Smith.
I know it was some Ravens cornerback. I forgot. But yeah, man. Hey, no, we know what Carr likes. He likes those route runners. He likes the big receivers. Yeah. Man, at the end of the day, he likes a receiver that he trusts. You know what I mean? Just get some talent over there, because I think he was gelling with Ruggs. That's the sad thing about the Ruggs situation. Like the more Ruggs was playing, the more I was believing in the talent with that 4.2 speed, the fact that he had that jump ball ability. I know we talking about Ruggs, but that the chemistry was growing. You could tell he was getting better as a player.
Yep.
Edwards, on the other hand, I wasn't seeing it. I wasn't seeing Edwards taking that big jump, but I was seeing it with Ruggs, and I was like, oh shit, this dude. Go ahead. Oh yeah, Gabriel Davis.
No, not that. Former Giants tight end Evan Ingram intends to sign a 1 year, fully guaranteed $9 million deal that could go to 10 with incentives with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Wow. He's gonna risk it like that.
I feel like that's kind of what you were saying earlier. Hey, I go over here, I go play for a year, and you know what I mean? I'm gonna bet on myself. I'm gonna go out there and ball out, and then so this next season I could go boom. Because think about it, he's getting paid more than Waller. Yeah. We're only paying Waller 7. He's going to get 9. So that's interesting right now, man.
That's an interesting fit, though. You know what I mean? Because it's like
But
it's risky. It's risky because he's going to young QB, Jacksonville. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't, because it look. I see when I see players take 1 year's deal, they usually take it with like good teams, good quarterbacks, good established offenses. So then like they know they'll get that production. Like Deshaun said, when Deshaun Jackson came to the Raiders, he said one of the things that brought him to the Raiders is when because he knew Nelson Aguilar from his days with the Eagles. He's seen how he was getting off with Derek Carr. Yeah. It didn't work out. Obviously, it didn't work out. But at the same time, like players do look at that. Players do look at receivers that have production, and shit. Derek Carr has had. He'll make you better. To me, in my opinion, I think he's had productive receivers come in and like it just.
And that's always my argument when it comes to Carr. It's always my argument because, for instance.
Well, Chuck, I don't know if that's true. La'el Collins just got released. I like that one.
I haven't seen anything on La'el Collins.
I got it. If that's true.
Who reported that?
Nah, it's not reported. Chuck in the chat. He just said that he's.
Oh yeah, I see. Oh yeah, I see the comment. I was just looking for it.
Yeah, I don't know. Chuck, where did you see that at?
I got Ian Rappaport up. I got Adam Schefter up. Who else?
Yeah, I mean, Collins would be a good pickup at right tackle.
Who else?
But yo, Ray, it's about that time.
Yeah, man. I'm about to close up shop, man. I'm gonna go get at this hat, man. I'm finna be.
It's all good, man. I see you doing your thing, man. I can't wait till you drop the hats for real. Like,
yeah, man.
I'm gonna be on the lookout.
It's gonna be exciting, man. I'm gonna try and get this thing right, good quality. You know, I ain't trying to play around. I want to have good design, everything. You know, so appreciate the support, brother. Thank you for coming on, Farrell. We're going to head to wrap it up, man. We had a pretty long live today.
Free agency. We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to talk about.
Definitely should do something tomorrow. Maybe not as long, I don't know, but we definitely got to do something again. I know you wanted me to pop on yesterday, but yesterday I was chilling, bro.
It's all good. We'll make it happen. Right. I mean, it's going to be a lot to talk about this week, obviously with free agency and stuff like that. So we'll figure something out for sure.
What's good with his son Joku in the building? I mean, his son Joku got a link too, man. Gene with the super chat. He says, "Hey, Ray, have the Raiders signed anyone yet?" I'll answer your question real quick. No, brother. Nope. I've been busy and haven't been able to follow you today until now, man. Sorry, man, but we about to just pop off. We are. If y'all can't hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Make sure to go follow Farrell NFL. Again, it's Farrell PHAROAH NFL. Let me put that in the chat real quick.
Yes, sir.
It's Farrell NFL on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, man.
And YouTube. Yeah, for sure. Most definitely YouTube. I'll be dropping videos. I had my first live yesterday. Even before that, I dropped videos on like I said, front office hires, a free agency video on the receivers. And man, I'm gonna keep coming out with more stuff, you know, at the end of the day, and I'm gonna be collabing with Raid as well. So just be on the lookout for that, bro.
April says, "Wait, did J.C. Jackson go to the Chargers or clickbait?"
He did. Sadly, he did.
He did. Sorry, but he did. Or I don't know what team of fan you are, but yeah, he did. But yeah, thank you everybody. Yeah, we just told you, girl. We just told you, April. But yeah, appreciate everybody pulling up. Yo, thanks, Farrell. It was a long one. We had Sanjeet on. Y'all go back to the beginning of this. We had Sanjeet on. We was talking, chopping it up.
Got a legend on, man. That's what's up.
Yeah, me and Sanjeet tapped in, man. We played high school football together. I think I told you that.
Yeah, I think you told me that. He's pretty knowledgeable, man. That dude's a smart. Yeah. I like Sanjeet's content.
Yeah, man. We grew up together, played football the whole. Yo, we got the cams in here. We got the webcam bots in here, man.
Oh, it's official.
That's how you know it's official and it's time to go. It's time to go. Y'all catch y'all later, man. Appreciate it, Farrell. Until next time, y'all know what it is. Ready to take.